Is that the right one, Greg? Welcome into a Friday free-for-all where Panther fans get to run the C3 Panthers podcast. My name's Tony Dunn. I am going to be the parent of this group tonight. And clearly we've got our backup quarterback producer in Greg, who played the wrong intro.
I bet.
This is the Friday free-for-all. If you're listening on iTunes, TuneIn, or Stitcher, if I get a chance to put this one up, note that this is not a regular podcast format. Equate this to a Royal Rumble of Panther fans, potentially creating mass suicide tonight. Andy Dalton will be starting for the Carolina Panthers as they head to Seattle as 5.5-point dogs. And there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of things to say. We'll start with our backup producer tonight. And Greg, man, the mic is yours. What is on your mind?
Man, I am just here to talk Panthers football tonight. I've taken a muscle relaxer. I got a few shots sitting in front of me, and then whatever other kind of medicine I need to get through this evening. I got a pretty good feeling there's going to be a few people coming after me tonight. Apparently, I'm a liar. I'm wrong about a lot of things. We're going to find out about what's going on. We're going to talk about Andy Dalton being the quarterback going forward, and some more things, with Panthers football. So I'm here to talk and here to try to produce halfway as good as Cody does, and see what we can do.
All right, I'm going to go around the horn. JJ, the youngster of the bunch, but never young on his takes. Welcome to the Friday free-for-all. The mic is yours, my friend.
Damn, that was a great way to actually describe me. I'm not going to lie. No, I do try and beat people to the punch on any take I can get off real quick. So I appreciate it to be here on a Friday free-for-all. I got my questions and concerns for other people, but that will be discussed throughout the evening. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. We're going to have a great weekend, talk about Panther sports. And my Buckeyes will dominate Notre Dame tomorrow, all right? Thank you.
Oh, great game tomorrow. Notre Dame and Ohio. Where is it at, JJ?
Ohio State is traveling to Notre Dame.
Hold on. I got to make sure they get the Ohio State. Yeah, I got the lecture on this. The Ohio State. It's not Ohio. Ohio State. Chuck in the house. It's rainy in North Carolina. Is it rainy? Are you a Raleigh guy? Where are you at, Chuck?
No, I'm in Concord. So it's
okay.
It's pretty chill out here. I just been sitting back this week and just listen to y'all, the group chat and everything. So I'm just gonna sit back and observe what people have to respond for these first 2 weeks of Panthers football.
Yeah, well, what you observed is a lot of people losing their fucking minds. That's what you've observed is, man, people are tense. And you know what? I do give, I don't like to ever talk junk about someone's takes or what their opinions. Never tell someone how to fan, that's for sure. But you can truly see that the Panthers have left fans wanting for so long. It's really hard to be positive when you get any negative information. Evan, Sports Talk, man, welcome to the C3 Friday free-for-all. I hope you brought your boxing gloves because it's a match here.
Yeah, it definitely is. It gets pretty intense here, but yeah, I'm ready for another weekend of football, for college football, for pro. Hoping maybe we can get our first win, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, tough. Well, maybe not as tough as it used to be to head to Seattle, but tough road place, long trip on a short week, and hobbled. We're hobbled so much that our little starting quarterback can't make it. He's going to make the trip, but he will not be playing. We've got a legend in the house, Panther Pickle, my man. I would say take the mic, but first I got to tell you to shut the hell up. What's up, Pickle?
I'm doing great. Fact of the matter, I believe I'll be saying that here some tonight. So,
okay.
Hey, I meant to wear it.
Did you change football teams or something?
No, but I feel that there's a lot of folks here that's going to need to hear, shut the hell up.
Yeah, you can get the Panther Pickle T-shirt.
Yeah, I had one. It's in the washer. I've got one. It's in the washer. I was going to wear it. It is. But nonetheless, if you want one, Tony tell you how to get one.
The washer. Yeah, you can go to. You can actually check.
I got one of them cups too.
The show notes.
Yeah.
In the description, hopefully it's there. I know I updated I don't know if Cody uses the same show notes I do. You can go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com and you can check the shop tab. And so there's a bunch of t-shirts there, a bunch of cool t-shirts. In fact, Greg's got one on right now. Put it in the bank. Doesn't look like we're going to be putting much in the bank this year other than some L's at this point. But hopefully we'll get a W this week. I got to bring in my man. I hope he's ready. G baby, my friend, the Panthers. Bryce Young, little poor Brycey, got a little hurt footy.
Sorry, I'm just smoking some weed right now, G.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, I'll come back to you, G.
All right, let's see who we got next, man. He's shook. Let's see. I'm trying to see this. Is it Chad?
Yeah.
Chad Morales in the Bayou, right?
Yes, sir. Probably the nicest Panther fan and most reasonable Panther fan, but I'm just here to hang out with my boys, have a great time.
What's on your mind about the Panthers going into tonight's show?
Fuck you, pickle.
There's that nice Panther fan for you.
Man. So what was your question, bud?
But just saying, what's on your mind as we head into the show about the Carolina Panthers?
Dog, I've been preaching it all week. I'm pissed off. I'm tired of mediocrity, and this schedule is grueling. And if we're gonna be, a possible 0-6, because I don't know where a dub's coming from.
It's got to be this week.
Yeah, it's got to be. If you're 0-6, you're gonna have to start trading pieces, man. You can't have one of the worst records in football and not have a first round pick. You can't fucking do it. Free agents don't come here. They don't want to come here. So time to go get us a receiver or whatever we need to do. But yeah.
Before the season, everyone was saying the schedule was so easy, though.
Yeah, well, you know what? We weren't ready for how good some of these teams are actually looking. Let's go to Anthony Piccarello in Charlotte. My man, what's on your mind about the Carolina Panthers?
We suck, man. That's what's on my mind.
Damn.
Nothing else to say, man. I'm so eternally drained at this point. I'm going to just sit back, crack a cold one open and just watch football on Sunday at this point. That's all I can say, man. This week, we'll see what happens. I don't really know what to think. I don't know how Dalton's going to look. I don't know how, we're going to play. But kind of what Chad's been saying too, I think, I'm tired of being mediocre. There's, in my opinion, I would rather be bad than mediocre because at least you can get top tier, talent. It just sucks. Everyone leaves this organization dry. Baker Mayfield, CMC looks like the MVP of the league right now. It's just, it's crazy to me. But we'll see what happens, man. I'm with Chad, though. Last thing, I think we should look to trade players if we don't have a win before the bye. I think that's definitely something we have to consider. Bryce, we need some offensive help. I think it's pretty evident to everyone.
All right, thank you. You know what I got to say? That angle on you, Anthony, you got some real Josh McCown vibes going right there. Look at that strong jawline, dude.
I was just about to say that, Tony.
Do you live in your Anthony? Do you live in your car?
I know. I've been told I've gotten a nice jawline, so I appreciate that.
There you go. Well, we've been taking a couple on the chin, so we're gonna have to get you in there for us to handle it. Man, we've got the brand ambassador here, D's Ill Skills. What is up, my friend?
Man, just hanging out another Friday night with the fellas. This is going to be an exciting night. Thank the Bat Daddy for joining along with you as well, Tony. Glad you get another chance to host a Friday free for all. This is going to be a pretty wild one. I feel aspirations have been kind of dampered here for the Panthers early in the season with Bryce Young being out. The one thing we had to be the most excited for. It's okay though if we need to vent, have a therapy session. Let's go ahead and do that. Muscles taught me a new term this week. I'm just going to sit back and listen and have some daddy sodas.
There you go. Some daddy sodas. Dad's in the house trying to take care of the kids. Somebody said while we were going into the show that they saw Tony being in here like a mom with 10 children losing their mind. Yeah, is that what you said? Well, guess what? This is the Italian dad here, and I ain't taking no shit. This is what my grandpa would do back in the day. He'd be like, shut up, you little shit. That's what he would say to me. All right. Let's start.
Hey,
Let's go ahead and do
before
this.
you start, Tony, do you want to go ahead and we have 2 super chats?
Yeah,
already
let's
before we
go
end the
ahead and
intros.
bring those up, and we'll tell you guys how to support the show. Thank you to our boy White Chocolate Espresso, my bastard son, aka Kev from South Carolina. He says, "Hope y'all brought y'all's cocktail sauce." Okay, well we got we have shrimp. We're eating shrimp tonight.
It's going like you said, you nailed it. It's going to be a Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah. And Kenneth, thank you for your participation in the process with $1.99 love bomb there. He said, "Let's get the dub, guys. # keep pounding." Tony equals Octomom, right? Is what Kev says. All right, guys, you can support the C3 Panthers podcast by subbing up, hitting the like button, dancing around. Keep pounding that like button. Keep pounding that like button. Check out our content on CarolinaCatChronicles.com, and don't forget we're here on after every game doing the post game show. And you never know, this week could be the week that the Mega Mingo hits and we give away a Jonathan Mingo jersey to one lucky C3 super fan. For just $1.99, you can support the show as we continue to expand our content. And Cody wanted me to mention this, that the film room has dropped. I think it dropped yesterday for the super fans and was out today. So go check out Pickle and Cody Lack breaking down the film. Let's see where they got to go. All right, I'm going to open with this. Guys, the news has come out. Bryce Young hurt his ankle in the Sunday night game and I guess he's missed practice now on a short week. They decided he will be out. He will not be starting this week. And they say the doctors have said he could miss 1 to 2 weeks. Now, Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, rain, go away. Red Rifle came to stay. I hope that's not the case. But Red Rifle is going in there, going on the road. The veteran is taking over an offense that has been lackluster. What happens? I want to start with this question. What happens if the Carolina Panthers get their first win of the season with Andy Dalton instead of Bryce Young?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Nothing. Because
Okay.
Andy Dalton already said this is Bryce's thing. But I don't see a win. I don't see how that's – unless the wide receivers turn into gods. I think that's what it comes down to.
I think it also comes down to how the win is. Like if Andy Dalton goes out there and throws for 250, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and we win the game, that's one thing. If Andy Dalton goes out there and throws for 110 yards and maybe a touchdown and an interception or 2, and then we happen to win because of defense and the running game, it's different. It all depends on how the game plays out. But there's going to be a lot to be answered for if Andy Dalton goes out with these wide receivers we've said are not good for Bryce Young and he performs. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Quiet bunch. Everybody's intimidated by the Italian dad here. Chad says he wouldn't be shocked. My thing is I'm kind of with Anthony, is I don't see this team all of a sudden being exceptionally better with Andy Dalton. I know that Bryce hasn't performed to the level that we had hoped he would be at this point, or at least that we thought he was going to come out and look more polished, a little sharper, or I don't know. We just fooled ourselves into thinking that everything was going to be nice in so many ways. He has not played exceptionally terrible, but he hasn't played well either. And I just don't know if it's that he's left so many plays out in the field that you're like, oh man, Andy Dalton would have made that. Andy Dalton could have done that. I don't know how Andy Dalton is he going to just be able to come in and have more rhythm with this team and more chemistry, guys?
I think check it, G. I think we're going to win this game.
Okay.
Because Seattle's missing half of their defense, bro. Seattle is missing half of their fucking defense.
I said yesterday I didn't think we would win. Fact is, on the Spacious show, I said on me and Spacious show, check that out. By the way, it's Monday and Thursday. I said I thought we would lose 28-3. That's what I said. But today I found out about all the injuries and half of the Seattle defense going to be out. We may have a chance to win this game.
No, Pickle, we will win this game. We're going to win this fucking game.
I really, truly hope you're right. If but like Greg said, I think it's how you win it. But either way, I think Bryce gets the team when he comes back. And something else that was brought up on the radio and I heard today that I never thought about yesterday. Is it coincidence that Bryce is going to be out 2 games, and when he comes back, Austin Corbett can come back too?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question and good way to put it that way, because I had a friend ask me, he said, do you think that the Panthers are using this injury as a mask to give Bryce a little break and maybe do what they had probably or in his mind said could have done and not made him start from day one? Is there anything to that? I think no.
I don't think
not
so.
at all. I think that this is the year of Bryce Young, and whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we need him learning on the job, and we need to be learning about him and this staff as we go forward.
Right.
2 weeks in, and people said Bryce is the wrong pick. Frank Reich is a bum. JJ, I want your opinion on this. Why, after 2 weeks, are you so confident that Frank Reich was the wrong hire?
Because I feel like he brings nothing extra to the table, honestly. I don't feel like he was bringing something that a Kent Dorsey couldn't have brought. I don't feel really... If his whole motto and identity is an offensive-minded coach, and you're as of everyone so far this season and preseason, all you have been able to bring to the table is a very vanilla offense. All right, let's say we go out here throughout this season, three or 4 wins. What's the point of keeping Frank Reich? If we already have Scott Fitter, exactly. If we already have,
he's ass, bro. I can't believe you. Tony, I don't know how you defend this motherfucker, bro.
Hold on. All right, Tony, think about it like this: have the last 2 games not been winnable?
They have been, both of them.
All right. So why hasn't Frank Reich been able to get the best out of this team so far? And that was a problem last year. That was a problem the year before that at the end of the season, whenever his team went flat in 2 very winnable games to make the playoffs. He's always been known for a slow start, and he's always had talented teams where they were able to be able to out-roster some people with this very vanilla offense. But at a certain time, it's going to cost you, especially when the NFL just keeps ascending and advancing and getting better. I don't feel that he should be a head coach anymore. I feel like he's the offensive version of Ron Rivera. And hopefully we move on after him after this season. Unfortunately, he's just not the answer, in my opinion.
All right, let's go to Chad.
I totally agree with what JJ's saying. If we finish this year with 3 or 4 wins, what's the point of bringing him back? If the offense doesn't show strides of getting better or showing flashes or, potato. And I said this on Pickle's Twitter Spaces yesterday. If for some reason that Reich only manages 3 or 4 wins this year, and he ends up getting fired, and Scott Fitter gets fired, which we're all kind of hoping for, the big name that I want as a head coach would be Eric Bieniemy.
Can I ask a question?
Hey, Tony. Oh, sorry, Greg.
No, you're good. Just out of curiosity, I understand what y'all are saying about Frank Reich, and I'm not saying you're completely wrong about everything you're putting out here, but why is it that we give Frank Reich this 1-year short leash where if he only wins 3 games, he's done, but we protect other people, players and other people?
Because Matt Rule won 5 games. You can't.
And we completely disassembled this team from what Matt Rule had.
Because Frank Reich, we were
new
sold.
Defense, new scheme, no Christian McCaffrey, no DJ Moore. We've completely this is a totally different team. If it was the same team, I could agree with you.
All-star coaching staff.
Bingo.
That's what we were sold. They're playing like nothing. They're playing like.
We were also okay. You're right. We were sold a lot of things, not just an all-star coaching staff.
Yes,
we were sold
I'm saying, but I'm saying, what are you implying?
We also invested a lot more into the quarterback than the head coach.
What are you implying though, Greg? Are we saying like Bryce needs to go with Fitter and Reich?
What I'm asking is why do we give up on Frank Reich so quickly when he's in a new system with new coaches, a new city, a totally new rookie quarterback and all this other stuff. Like we give Bryce the excuse for being a rookie quarterback.
This is the same Frank Reich I was watching.
He's got 5 years of experience as a head coach.
It's the same fucking Frank Reich, bro.
One at a time. One at a time.
Right.
One at a time.
What I'm saying is we give other people excuse, like we give Bryce Young the excuse of being a rookie quarterback, but we don't give Frank Reich the excuse of having a rookie quarterback. You see what I mean? Like I'm not saying you're wrong. Like people are wrong by this. I'm not saying throw out Bryce Young if you throw out Frank Reich too. What I'm saying is I don't understand why we're so hard on Frank Reich. Year one, he's in a new system, new coaching staff, new rosters, new rookie quarterback, rookie wide receiver, the same stuff that Bryce Young's going through, but we don't give him the same leash we do Bryce Young.
All right, let's go to G Baby. G Baby, get in there on this.
This is just crazy to me, man.
Get him, G Baby.
That's all you got?
Yeah, G Baby. What the fuck?
What's wrong? What's wrong, G Baby?
G Baby.
He's worried about that bet on the OSU game.
Hold on. Let's
hold on. We got some new people in here.
Because I don't believe in Bryce Young. I'm a fake fan, but because y'all don't believe in the rest of the franchise, y'all are not fake fans.
And you don't talk. You lie, bro. You lie to the fucking fan base, bro.
Tell me how.
And that's bro. You do, Shrimp. You lie to the fucking fan base, bro. I ain't here for that shit no more, bro. You
let him talk about
lie, bro.
Okay. All right.
We ain't doing that shit, man.
All right, Dad's in here now. Let's welcome in Al.
Tony, this is the same motherfucker that said Miles Sanders is no different than fucking Christian McCaffrey, bro. That's a fucking lie, bro.
That's not what I said.
No, that's exactly what you said, bro. And then you said Bryce Young is a shorter Josh Rosen, bro. That's a fucking lie, bro. You come on the fucking podcast lying, and I ain't having that shit no more, bro.
I was a lot higher.
Oh, that's not right, bro. That's documented, bro.
You know what? He ain't the only one. He ain't the only one on this program that has lied. Okay, every time somebody, you're not
lying.
My point of the matter is,
I said that Sanders had a better year last year than Christian McCaffrey.
No, that's not what you said.
That was a lie.
So
that's not what you said.
That would be a lie,
Junior,
that's not productive talk, children. That's not productive talk, children.
Tony, we came up on a guy that had 1,000.
That would be an incorrect statement, Greg.
It's false because CMC got like what 6.
You gonna need 2 more of those.
Like no, there's nothing false about saying that CMC did not have.
No, I think it's a fair point. Look, first is that Cody has been one of the people that too. Look, everybody was bitching about Christian McCaffrey's contract and all of that. And you don't build around a running back anyway. So I think
he's not just a running back though, Tony. He's a wide receiver as well.
I was the same. I was
a generational type back, Tony. But this is the typical Panthers, bro. We can't get shit right, G. Like, how the fuck do we dismantle our entire offense and bring in the #1 pick and a quarterback and be like, hey, okay, go pull Cam. That's what we did with Cam Newton, bro.
Let me get this off.
So let me get that, Greg, bro. Because Greg, I know you love basketball, bro. LeBron James. Go look at LeBron James, bro. When LeBron James wins all his fucking championships, bro, what's he surrounded by? Fucking shooters, motherfuckers that can shoot the ball and help him win the fucking game. Bryce needs to be surrounded by aliens where he can dump and dink, be fucking Steph Curry of the fucking NFL, bro, and get the ball around. That's what he was doing at Alabama. We don't have that here at Carolina, bro.
Can't do that overnight. All right, hold on, guys. Let's welcome in Al for Panthers. Al for Panthers. Man, the Panthers start out 0-2. Where so much hype, so much excitement around the team. We're heading to Seattle, and now we're using our backup quarterback. How you feeling about the Panthers right now?
Not good. I'm actually just filling in for my proxy, Alex, today. He couldn't make it. He's actually working. So,
okay.
But, yeah, I'm more here just to hear your guys' thoughts.
All right. Well, you're going to hear a lot. You said he wrote in the private chat that, man, it's hostile in here. You haven't seen nothing yet. The Friday free-for-all, they haven't even started coming off the turnbuckles yet, my man. This is child's play. Let's go to Anthony.
I don't tune in all the time, but
this is a different type of podcast, right? Is the Tuesday night show is a traditional podcast show, right? The Friday free-for-all is its own entity. It's something that Cody created to bring in every single fan, any open opportunity for contribution. And you can have, get up to 10 people in here, and people are passionate, man. They're fans and they're fanatics.
Can we go
and
to
I think
Miranda
the
now?
fact that Anthony, you wanted to say something. And I'm going to go not back. I want to address something JJ said after that.
Okay, no, I go by Miranda now. I've lost my sanity, man. I'm just fucking okay. Listen, the reality is that the reality is here is that we were sold. There's literally clips you can pull up where Scott Fitter sits down with people and tells them, "We built this roster to drop a rookie quarterback in." That was the biggest bullshit lie I've heard. That was worse than what Marty Herney said. So to Greg's point, as much as you want this rookie quarterback to be able to carry this system, it's on the coaching staff for bullshitting us. If they told us this was a rebuilding year, we still need pieces, we're still like a little far away, we wouldn't be in this situation. But we were sold this division sucked. We were sold that we had the pieces in place. We were sold we had competent coaching. We have none of that. That's the problem here. Like, look at everyone else in the NFC. Like, I know you say, like, well, we can't shit on the organization and not Bryce, because this organization has let great players walk and not got the best from them. Like, look at Baker Mayfield right now. CMC's in the MVP conversations after 3 weeks. Like, this is serious stuff that we're talking about here, man. That's my problem with this. If we would just take a year back, the organization, like, institutionally told us this is not going to be a year where we compete, no one on this panel would be upset because we already know what we're expecting.
We always half-ass rebuild, bro. It's always let's go, bro. It's never let's sit back and fucking chill. Let's fucking take our lumps and our bruises and let's move forward, bro. They're always go, bro.
And it's not working.
Let me ask you this then, G baby. If we and I do think there's some truth to that about the never like fully just knowing what you are. What should the Panthers have done and how should they have done it? Oh, before you answer that, guys, because I am not the man, the myth, the legend, and Cody Lashney, when these extras come into the green room, if you guys, I don't know, I'm going to be asking you if you know these people because I ain't trying to see no dicks on tonight's show. So do you guys know this guy, by the way, Jared? You ever seen him?
Does he have his camera on?
Yeah. Jared, in the chat, you got to do this is tell me who, tell me one offensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers. No Googling. I got to make sure only because I've been suckered.
Oh yeah. Some of the people that have
tell us
through-
an agenda.
Is it
that
the
one
one
of us
dude
has.
from Twitter?
His name's Jared.
I think
I
that's
know
who I thought.
Jared. All
I
right,
don't know if any of you.
we're going to go for it, guys. We're going to go for it. If we see Jared, Panthers fan or not.
Oh.
Okay. There you go.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
No,
he's been here before. He's been
No,
here
yeah, I'm a
Okay,
Broncos
okay.
fan, but I'm just curious. I follow.
Yes,
welcome. Look,
yes, he's a Broncos
All right.
fan, but he's been here.
Let me just tell you why is I am
so.
subbing in for Cody Lashney, who has been doing this for what 2 years now, I feel like, and we have been bombed.
I'm not
and
gonna
so
do
I
that.
gotta just no, it's okay. I didn't think you were. I just got to make sure. Welcome to the C3 Friday free for all. What we're asking right now is this: is what is a Denver fan interested in the Carolina Panthers for?
It all started with watching PJ Walker because
Okay.
I like the XFL. So I was following him, and then I found your guys' channel, years ago, and I have like a curiosity to see how this Bryce Young situation is going to pan out. I follow you guys. Sometimes I want to root for you guys. Sometimes I don't want to root for you guys and see you guys suffer a little bit. But I want to ask you guys, how are you guys going to stop Kenneth Walker III at running back when you guys had issues with the Atlanta Falcons and their running backs? And that's
Great
all
question.
I want to say.
Great question.
We don't know. We don't know.
We're not.
Atlanta has a better run
Yep,
scheme
Anthony's
and
right,
better
we're
running backs.
We're breaking.
We did pretty good against the Saints overall.
Oh yeah.
Now the Atlanta game was the first game. The defense looked really good last week. I don't expect any drop off on our defense.
Okay. And then Tyler Lockett's still going to be playing, I'm sure, at wide receiver.
He's gonna cook us.
Yeah, that's the guy. Go
Seattle-
for prize picks. He's my
What-
prize
what-
pick for
what
the
we
week.
need to
Is
do-
Tyler Lockett on the more
What
than.
we need to do with Lockett is hit him hard enough because he's often injured anyway. We need to hit him hard enough to make him think he's going to get hurt so he don't burn us too bad. The only way we're going to beat him is by cheating. That's the only way we're going to beat Tyler Lockett is by cheating anyway. So,
all right, I got a question for you before you run.
All right, I was just wanting to chime in on that.
You can hang it out as long as. Here is my question for you. And G baby, man, I really fucked up this trade thing in the dynasty with you. G baby was trying to help my team, and I was just like, nah, don't help me. But one guy I held on to was Marvin Mims. I said, I'm not letting this guy go.
Yeah.
Can I start him this week? He cooked the Commanders for 1.5. Can he be a valuable piece in fantasy, or is he going to be inconsistent because we don't know anything
Jerry
about
Jeudy's back. I wouldn't play him.
I think he's going to be too inconsistent. He's probably going to have good, just breakout games and then go up and down. But you got to risk it sometimes. But he's just started, so I don't.
Your thoughts on heading to Miami? Do you guys have a chance?
No chance. No, not with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And you got to just admit when the Dolphins are too good like that on offense.
Damn.
So
they're too fast.
The Broncos defense is bad this year.
It don't matter. We're not going to be. They're going to cook us. Okay. I'm interested. I tell you this is I hate Russell Wilson. I always have because he went to NC State. But and I'm an ECU guy from North Carolina, and I'm almost feeling sorry for the dude at this point.
Yeah, he should have retired or something. I didn't know. No one expected the drop off that he had last year.
I mean, a cliff. Cliff.
Exactly.
He's still better than Deshaun Epstein, though. He's better than him.
I don't even know who that is.
Deshaun Watson, the quarterback.
He said Epstein.
Oh, you're tripping, Anthony.
Nah, bro, that dude is trash. And Baker Mayfield's better than
I
him.
agree. I hate him. All right. Let's go back to G Baby on this because I think you had something. There was something to this point, and that is the Panthers don't full rebuild. They're always in a partial building.
Yes.
We're renovating. We're renovators, not rebuilders. G Baby, how could we have done this better?
Well, I'll give you what we could have, and then I'll give you what we should do right now.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
What we should have done. Okay, can I ask you guys something? What did we get for Christian McCaffrey? Can anyone tell me?
Nothing.
Third, fourth, and second, third, fourth, and fifth.
I don't even know what we got for Christian McCaffrey. Bro, it hurt my fucking soul watching him play last night.
It did.
McCaffrey's the best player in the fucking league, bro. It's terrible. He's worth at least a first-round pick. At least.
That white boy is so raw, dog. Like, man, dog. Like, fuck, man.
All right, G, baby, tell him what we should have. Tell him
what we should have done was kept Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. That's what we should have fucking done. Okay.
And traded Brian Burns.
Hindsight's 2020 now. Now, when I see JC fucking Horn, he's not the best ability is availability, and he's never fucking available. That's a top 10 pick. Everyone can shit on CJ Henderson all they want, but at least he's on the fucking field, bro. Like when JC Horn's in the game, though, I can tell the difference on the defense. Like I'll give him that. Like when he's actually on the field, I look at the defense. I'm like, damn, bro. Like we got some shutdown, DBs. But like, when he's off the fucking field, it's like, what the fuck? But I would have rather traded Brian Burns and JC Horn to fucking Chicago rather than fucking.
I want to add on to that too, because a lot of people aren't realizing. We restrained ourselves with dead cap trading CMC and DJ Moore because they were on
new contracts.
They were on new contracts.
Yeah, all the dead money.
And now we don't even have a contract for Brian Burns.
And the most Scott Fitter thing is going to be he's going to let him walk and get nothing for him, and then he'll still be here because
No, Anthony, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to package a deal for fucking Brian Burns and JC Horn because we got to get something out of them boys, bro.
We got to get more.
If we let Brian Burns walk for nothing, bro.
I think it would be foolish to trade JC Horn at this point. I think you have too many sunk costs in him for a number 1 draft pick and then so little.
You got to get the price line as high, Tony. It's not gonna. It's gonna continue to drop.
Here's
Tony.
the thing, Tony. Tony, here's the thing. At this point, I agree with everything G and JJ have been saying. Let's just rebuild. Who cares? We aren't going to go to the playoffs.
We ain't going to no Super Bowl, bro.
Let's actually build something. And then every season we'll be like, okay, we're building. Like, we're not going to be told that we're trying to win with this half-ass team. It's
Tony, you want to go through a whole decade like we did with Cam Newton again, dog?
The problem is we're about to reach a decade, and here's why. For the past 5 years in the offseason, we've never really made a move where it's like, yeah, we're going to Arizona Cardinals. We're just going to ship this season and fully dedicate our plan to something. We're trying to build on the fly. And the thing is, we've been trying to win, and we can't even get a winning record. So it's like we're failing at it, and we've yet to just, you know what, we're going to shank this ship and just fully send it and plan out newly.
And
what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same shit over and over and expect it. Like, come on, you guys.
Right. Hey, can I ask too? Because G baby, I agree with you actually on this about the whole J.C. Horn and Brian Burns packaging deal. But what would you want to get for that? Like, if you were going to package J.C. Horn and Brian Burns into a deal for maybe Chicago, what would you want to get for that?
I would be okay with just a first and multiple picks. Like, there's no need. Like, everyone knows we're like. I feel like we're the laughing stock. I feel like we're the laughing stock of the NFL. Like, I feel like everyone knows our every single fucking move during the game, outside the fucking game. I feel like everyone knows what we're gonna do. Like, I don't get it, man. Like,
can I say this? Because Chad brought up the funniest thing yesterday. He was like, when Scott Fitter called Ryan Poles, and he was like, "We want DJ Moore." He's like, "Okay, yes, Daddy, we'll give you DJ Moore." He's like, "Bro, it's just like, come on now, bro. Like, we are the laughing stock." Like, let me say this: I don't care about J.C. Horn anymore because the defense looked great. We without him. We sacked the quarterback.
Defense looked great against the Saints last year without Brian Burns.
Crazy, man. All y'all do is just pick whatever you want to say whenever you want to say it. Because all y'all do is shit in the background about C.J. Henderson and Dante Jackson.
But Tony, don't do that, Tony.
I'm pretty sure that
they deserve it.
Okay, so then you can't say you're fine with it.
We're fine because we have a competent play caller that knows how to get.
Hey, Tony, I'm glad you said that. Hold on, Tony. Thank you, G. Thank you, bro. Because I've been trying to tell y'all, C.J. Henderson and fucking Dante Jackson aren't as bad as what motherfuckers make them to seem out to be, bro. Being on a fucking island in the NFL and being across from someone that's trying to kick your ass, bro, that's an elite athlete, a superior athlete in the world, bro, it's tough, bro. It takes all 11 people. It takes the pass rushers getting to the QB so your life isn't hell on the back end, y'all. So give some fucking credit to those guys because the defense looks just as good as when J.C. Horn's not out. And what did Brian – I hate shitting on Brian Burns, but, bro, like how do you ask for 30 plus million, but you don't do shit, bro? But when I watch Nick Bosa is a fucking animal, bro. When I watch him on the fucking 49ers defense, bro, I'm like, dude, this dude's a fucking alien, dog.
I hate look, and I've always been consistent, I think, with what I've said about Brian Burns, and he is a very good player, not a elite defensive end.
And that's why we're mediocre and we suck ass, bro.
I will tell you this is I know, and this is the reason why, is he's one-dimensional. And it's not just like he can't stop the run. It's not this, is that he wins with speed, not power. He doesn't, and what Nick Bosa does is he wins with speed and power. So if you can't win, if speed is the way to beat the guy, you beat him with speed. If you
he's 40 pounds heavier than Brian Burns too, G.
And this is kind of, but I also know that I'm very hard on defensive ends because my favorite player of all time is one of the greatest defensive ends. And it's like this, is like if your favorite player of all time was Luke Kuechly, then every linebacker is just going to be very good, never great. My favorite player is Julius Peppers, and that people just don't understand how insanely good he was. A guy that's 290 that can play 3-4 defenses.
Yes.
Like he can do what, how people are talking about, like how Brian Burns is going to benefit so much from this new system. Imagine being 285 and being able to do that. 290. That's what Julius Peppers did. Julius Peppers get like
6'6"
running back
Hey, gorilla
interception.
big nigga.
I know.
Tony,
It's crazy.
Tony, can I say this?
Well,
Yo, listen, my dad's favorite player is Julius Peppers too, and his name's Anthony, so I'm not surprised y'all have that in common. But listen. Okay, the problem with the Brian Burns combo is everyone's like, oh, well, when he doesn't show up, they just scheme him out of the game. Nah, fuck that, because how come the other guys don't get schemed out of the game? That's the problem with this. They still produce even when the defensive attention.
They have elite players everywhere else.
I mean, okay, but I don't see anyone else on the 49ers getting pressure besides for Nick Bosa.
You're tripping.
Yeah. No,
Well, they have Hargrave. They have Hargrave, but bro, we have Darren Brown.
But
he just wasn't watching the game then, bro. It's as simple as that. Because Javon Hargrave was eating that center's lunch yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, their whole team.
Javon Kinlaw was eating their lunch as well, too, bro. Like,
yeah,
that's
their whole team is
their whole team is sick.
Somebody told me this at the bar last night. They said that the 49ers have the most talented roster in the NFL.
Yes.
I think he was right. I think he was right. I think the only other team that you can put in the conversation is the Eagles.
Yes.
Greg, let's go to the super chat.
Yes. Real quick before we get too far into it, I did want to bring up this a little while ago. Faded Cat Meow, $2. Thank you so much. Says let's go Dalton. It's going to be an interesting week. I think maybe we should shift the conversation to that because we haven't talked about Dalton yet.
Well, I do want to actually, but right before we do that, I want to make my point. I think you guys are wrong on. I'm not a JC Horn lover like everybody. That is like, oh, he's elite. He's a seatbelt. I don't think trading him is going to get you enough. I think you just got to hope.
I agree
that. And if you do want to trade him, if that's what you really think the answer is with that player, then you really need him to play one healthy season and then trade him where you get some value. Because
would you take a third rounder for him?
But here's the thing, Tony. How do you?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so because we're not even dressing our third rounder from this year.
You're not getting a day 2 pick for JC Horn. I'm sorry.
You're right, JJ. You're going to be real lucky to get a third round pick. Real lucky.
You're just hoping. Tony, you're just hoping that he's going to stay healthy. There's nothing in our evidence that has shown that he's going to be healthy for another season. Listen, I get he's a dog, but listen, here's my thing. Going back to the real problem with this is the Brian Burns thing, because they still haven't paid him, which either means two things. One, they're dysfunctional, which I mean, that could probably be the answer. Or two, they may be trying to trade him. You never know. Like, you realistically don't know, because other than that, you already turned down a trade for him. So why haven't you paid him? Like, I get you can just franchise tag him again, but at that point next season, he's not going to want to play. Like, if they're just like, yeah, we'll franchise tag you, he'll sit out. He'll literally sit out.
Didn't Brian Burns say that all negotiations are off by his?
He kind of said it half-assed. He kind of said it half-assed. He was like, but for now. But it was like, if they're going to pay me, he was like, listen.
But I mean, in reality,
like,
Brian Burns
don't be surprised if I sign that check later.
Brian, okay, you're right. If they offer him $32 million contract, I'm sure he'd sign that sucker. But let's be real. Brian Burns, right now, they're probably not offering him at most 28. Maybe that. Probably not. They probably ain't.
I don't even think they offered 23, did they?
Yeah, he's betting on himself.
That's what they said.
That's what the rumor was. But reality is, if Brian Burns, a smart move is not to sign a damn contract. Just do that. Put everything off until the end of this year. If he blows up and puts up a bunch of numbers, then he can say, "Hey, I want more." If he don't, then he goes somewhere else, because he's going to get his money, whether it's with us or somebody else.
I thought Sideshow brought up a great question in the chat. He said, are you picking up JC's 5th year? And the answer is no. You're going to make him just play next year, which would be his 4th season under contract, and see if it's worth it. You would pull a Chase Young on him. I think this is and then we're going to Andy Dalton and this week's matchup. For you guys, I took some money one time and I put it in a little stock account, right? And I'm a little bit of money. I took $2,000 and put it in this stock account in 2016, and I've been playing it for the last 7 years. kind of like you guys are on PrizePicks. I did that. Now, I like an idiot, bought some oil stocks at one point, and I thought I was trying to forecast a recession. Right. I was like, man, this market's too hot. It's got to cool down. And it didn't cool down. So I bought these oil stocks, and I could have sold and taken a loss. But I said, I don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that $250 and then to lose $250. So I left it. And guess what? It took 2 years, but I recouped at least my investment. I think if you sell JC Horn right now, you'd be lucky to get a third round pick. You'd be lucky to get a fourth. Like, who, if we don't want him, who would?
Hold on, let me ask you something then, because you said no to his 5th year. If we're not gonna straight up get the value out that we can get now, and our whole plan is to keep him, if he balls out in his 4th year and is staying healthy, it'd be cheaper to keep him on a 5th year rather than just not having it and then having to extend him, if you know what I mean. Like that's why I'm a little confused about that.
Because you said you can't. Well, the reason why is because I'm also not betting that he's going to be great either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's just better to see if we could get a good corner for a year and, you know, under contract. I don't want to pay a guy, go ahead and pay him when he hasn't even played a full season. So, I mean, all interesting points here. I just don't know if if the rest of the league is going to see the value that we see in JC Horn. Let me bring back D's in. I got kicked out. Chad, go ahead.
Can we all agree that the only player on our roster that is worth a first-round pick or multiple first-round picks is Brian Burns?
Yeah. I think teams would trade a first-round pick for Derek Brown, though, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Derek Brown ain't going nowhere. No, he's a good ass player. I don't want to trade him.
I'm starting to jump on that bandwagon, Tony, that Derek Brown really might be the best player on this team for it's going under the radar, but
he's the face of the franchise.
He is super valuable. Like, I mean, I keep going back and thinking of when I went to that Bengals game, and I didn't know until a while ago, like maybe a month ago or two, that he didn't play in that game. And I was like, well, shit, that's probably why they ran all up over us. So when I go back and watch it, I'm like, man, Derek Brown, without Derek Brown, we was really looking like the worst team in the NFL.
And on top of that, too, is that he isn't as just a run stopper as people make him out to be. He is disruptive too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's just.
And he got that dog. I wish he would have whooped Michael Thomas' bitch ass.
Yeah, I would have liked that. I'd have helped him. I would have took the collection to pay his fine.
Dude, we have this conversation before you let Alex in. Before you introduce Alex, I do want to say the problem with our team is we don't have any dogs, man. Like when you go back and look at the teams from 2011 to 2015, those dudes were trying to punch you in the mouth, dude. It just feels like we have this soft ass mentality right now.
I remember when Derek Brown got to training camp in the beginning of this season, he said he wanted to win. I was like, damn, like he got straight to the point. Like he was like, I want to win.
Hey, I know he wanted to win. He was trying to whoop Michael Thomas' ass. I want him on my side in the back alley. I know he fucking ride or die, G.
All right.
Derek Brown's a fucking dog, bro.
Let's do. I think Greg made a good point. Let's circle this conversation to something that is a little bit more immediate than trading people down the road.
Before you do, can I just go ahead and mention real quick? 104 people in the chat room. We have like 39 thumbs up. It's free. It's very simple. If you're in this chat room right now, you must like the show. Just hit it for us. It helps with the algorithms. It's really good. Just thumbs up the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, come on, guys. It's free.
All right, let's go to Kyle.
Yes,
Kyle,
sir.
welcome to the Friday Free for All. Get jump on. We're tagging you in right now into this match. It's
Let's go.
The dad's here, so it's not as I guess cantankerous as it can be when it comes to with Cody in here riling those kids up. The Carolina Panthers are heading on the road to Seattle. They're 5.5-point dogs, and now the red rifle is taking over. Tell us what you think about Andy Dalton and Frank Reich trying to sniff out their first win on the road on a short week.
All right. So thanks for having me. Happy Friday and glad to be on. And
excellent.
Hello, everyone. So my thing is Andy Dalton only has to be a game manager, but these wide receivers have to get open. And if they can even prove that they can do that, we might be able to do something. But like everybody's been saying, Seattle's defense is half hurt. So we might have a good chance. But, when we played in joint practices, they played against the twos and didn't really do that well either. So
now you brought up something that's interesting. And maybe I'm not as jump off the ledge just yet when it comes to the coaching staff nor the quarterback that Twitter can be, right? And it's fine if people are like that. But I hear over and over that there's no weapons, that there's no separation. And I hear that's so much of the reason that there has been a lackluster offensive performance. You brought that up. Why is it that people all of a sudden think that the offense can be significantly better with Andy Dalton? I don't think it's going to be much different I don't think it's been Bryce making bad decisions. I think it's just been nothing has really worked. Last week, the running game didn't work. The week before, we had a couple of turnovers that were from a rookie. Like, it's just nothing's gone right at all at the same time. Why do people think so much that all of a sudden Andy Dalton is going to take this team significantly to a different level? Or am I making that up?
You are.
No, you're not at all. You're not at all.
No one said that. No one said that.
No, not on this show. I feel like I see that all of a sudden people are like, here it comes.
Well,
the
dude,
win.
You're trying to listen. If the Panthers are smart this week, they'll pound the rock because Seattle is like us. They can't really stop the run. That's like always been kind of their they were bad.
We beat them last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If Frank Reich's smart, he's watching the Steve Wilkes tape right now, and he's like, okay, let's run these type of runs.
But he's not.
Yeah, but he's not. He'll throw like 30 times at Dalton again, and then.
He did that last week. He ran the Steve Wilkes tape.
Dink and dunk your way down the field, and then we'll give it to Chuba when he's 5 yards behind the quarterback on a 4th and 1.
I just don't. That 4th and 1 and that 4th and inches shit. It's bro. Do you guys not watch the Eagles, dog? Like, bro, it's almost damn near automatic to have the QB underneath the fucking center's ass and have fucking guys put them into the offensive line.
Yeah, we don't have Hall of Famer, bro. Bradley Bozeman's been getting his ass kicked every week.
Bradley Bozeman was a bad re-signing. We should have let that son of a bitch walk.
We re-signed him because guess what? It was another fantasy storyteller.
No, the reason why
storyline, bro. He was so connected to the fans. It was another match made in heaven.
I agree.
It was another match made in heaven. Ooh, the fans love him. Let's keep him.
Wasn't John Michael Schmitz at that pick too?
At pass protection last
year. And the thing is that it's crazy.
Austin Corbett saved
players. Listen, can I just mention this before I let Kyle go because we didn't really let him go? But listen, the problem I have with the drafting is that like we are like every year on this panel, like for the past 2 years at least, we've called out dudes that are dogs in the draft, and they've passed on a lot of dogs in the draft. And guess what? They turn out to be dogs, and the players they draft turn out to do nothing. So why can't we be the scouts, bro? Like, come on. Now.
Micah Parsons
needs to do better, bro.
Fucking Micah
Parsons. Organization needs to do better.
Kyle, man, right there with you, bro.
Oh, I swear. But right, no, so like,
Kyle. Go ahead, Kyle.
But what I mean by that, Tony, is like I don't know if dink and dunk is what the offensive plan is going to be because Andy Dalton doesn't have to dink and dunk. I mean, that might be the offense that they have schemed for Bryce Young to grow and succeed in this league in his first season. They may have a whole backup plan like, okay, this 13, 14-year vet can throw some crazy styles that we can throw in there real quick, game plan this, maybe 10, 12 plays that they could use specifically with Andy Dalton, with his experience, that maybe schemes these offensive weapons that we have.
Hey, Kyle,
open.
hold on. Hey, Kyle, and if
Yeah.
that's the case, I'm not gonna lie. If you holding back the playbook from the quarterback we just drafted because he is so smart and above and beyond, and that was the whole reason we drafted him, bro, I'm not gonna lie, that's a fireable offense for holding back
Yes,
the
I was
playbook.
about to say that. Like,
Get up
Right.
out of here with that. Come on, bro. What are we
I'm saying
doing?
That's a good point.
I'm
That's
saying it's
bullshit. Yeah, that would
I
be,
get
that
it,
would be
but
crazy, dude. Like, if they're
Get
just
that
like,
man
yeah,
up out of here.
yeah,
I'm just
Bryce,
saying if we win the game, what happens? If we win the game, what happens? Then it shows off how we put up 28 points when Bryce was only able to get 300 to 400 yards. So like,
Actually, that's the
Where did-
question I want to ask you, Alex. Kyle, excuse me, I just was texting about Alex in the background. If the Panthers were to win this, what does it do to the storyline about Bryce Young?
it makes everybody question whether he needed to sit or not. I mean,
That's a great answer. Great
Well, I think it
answer. I'm
comes down to-
glad that's a very intelligent answer about that question, because the question could have been is he the wrong pick? Right. That could have been, but no, I like that did you thrust him into a precarious situation?
Right.
Deez, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I can jump in here, Tony. That's fine. It feels like that most of the conversation revolves around a 3 or 4 win season, and at that point, I get it. Fire everybody, whatever you want to do, restart, trade Brian Burns, all that makes sense. If we only win 3 or 4 games this season, I don't think that's going to be the case, though, guys. I mean, we're just going into week 3 here. We got plenty of time to see this play out. I do think we get the win here in Seattle just because we're due. We really are due one. I don't think we're as bad as we've looked in the first couple of games, man. We've had some key turnovers by Bryce Young, and I'm not putting all the blame on Bryce whatsoever. His wide receivers have done a poor job. The offensive line has looked absolutely horrendous and has been riddled with absolute injury. And I still don't think Austin Corbett's going to be back till week 8. Like, I don't think there's any
week 8. You think? You don't think it's week 4?
I do. No, I think it's week 8. I don't think we got any kind of solution up front coming anytime soon. And coaching staff just kind of pulled the plug. And a lot of Panthers fans are really disappointed. I understand. If you want to vent and point fingers, there's plenty of direction to go here. If you want to point it at the front office, I agree. If you want to point it at the wide receiver core, I agree. If you want to point it at the offensive line, I agree. The only thing we got really going for us right now is that defense, and then we've lost Horn and we've lost Shaq. So who knows what they're going to look like coming up Sunday. I understand being worried about this game, but it's hard to say that we're not going to win seven games this season. We really might end up there, or 8 wins, and it's a slight improvement over last year. And they may hold the front office. And if you wanted to fire Scott Fitter at the end of last season, I would have been fine with that, bringing in a new coach. But the fact is they didn't. So it's going to be interesting to me to see what they do, and all these scenarios are as well. I'll go ahead and hand it off back to you guys. Appreciate it.
The problem is that we were promised. The problem is that we were promised that all we were doing was literally dropping Bryce in to just go. Like they were formatting this team to literally just put him in place and then just go on and win games. That is what we were promised, and if that's not taken care of, or if that doesn't happen, or doesn't come to fruition, then you gotta get rid of Scott Fitterer.
Bro, and the 3-4 defense is trash, bro.
No,
the 3-4 defense is horrible, bro.
They haven't been terrible. They haven't been great, but not terrible.
Man, it's been the same story for the past 3 years with our defense.
Better than the offense.
No, they're on the field so much they get burned out. Like, that's it. The problem is
no matter what the scheme is.
Yeah, the problem is that I just think that Frank Reich and what we brought, I don't know. It's very disappointing to see this because listen, if we win 4 games here's my thing with this. I think that Tepper clearly has less patience because even though, yes, it took longer than expected to fire Rule, he's going to fire Frank Reich when he feels this team is going to shit. Because, one, Frank Reich only has a 4-year deal, and two, Tepper was literally sold that even he was sold that this coaching staff was elite, all this and that. That was going to be part of our offensive analysis is that, like, we have the coaching to overcome the skill position. But the truth is, we're not looking like the Rams right now. We're not looking like teams that have little talent but can get over it because they have great coaching that put in great game plans. Like I'm on the fire Frank Reich if it's a 4-win season because what we were sold and another reason why I was so excited for Bryce Young was because they were gonna elevate his game by being great coaches, but I have seen nothing from him. My last straw is I hope to see Thomas Brown, which is probably not going to happen because Reich already claimed he's not the play caller. I mean, the play calling isn't an issue, and that's why his new name is Frank Rule. He is Frank Rule. You have to put the blame on yourself when you lose a game. You can't say, no, I was doing everything correct. And no, it's fine. The play calling's not the issue. Like, that's my problem with this.
Correct.
I was going to say, I agree with you, Anthony, to a certain extent, because you're right. Like, the coach does have to take blame for this. And, like, he's the head coach of the team. He's got to take blame. But so does the quarterback. Like you can't take all blame. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying the quarterback does too. Take blame for this. Here's my thing is I giving up so much for Bryce Young. Like, I feel like Bryce Young can be a good quarterback going forward. I don't know if he's the best quarterback for Carolina right now. And if this week is a litmus test for him, because I don't disagree with y'all that we have a bad wide receiving core and that we do not have a good offensive line. I'm not disagreeing there. But should Andy Dalton come out there this week, and we need to see this,
Andy Dalton can throw 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's still not my fucking quarterback, bro.
Okay, I'm not saying he's my quarterback. Whoa, you're taking it to extreme. I'm not saying that if he does.
So I can see where you're trying to go with this, bro. You ain't slick. You ain't pulling that shit out.
It's not slick. Now, what the hell are you talking about? G baby, sit down.
No, I see what you're doing. I just call it out. Just call it out. We waiting,
question, G baby.
Let Greg
Shut the hell up, G baby.
I was going to tell you to do that.
Let Greg talk.
You have to do that shit. Yeah, that's how you know you're losing an argument.
Hold on. Let Greg finish what he's trying to say.
All I'm saying is, should Andy Dalton go out there this week, win or lose, and throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, does that not put in question us giving this wide receiver core and offensive line all this shit? Does that not put a little more blame on maybe Bryce not being ready? Not saying he's a bad quarterback, not saying he's terrible or he's a bust, but maybe does that not put a little more blame on Bryce Young if Andy Dalton could do it and he couldn't?
Hell no. I'll answer this. Is that this is the problem, is all of our opinions and all of our emotions have been based on speculation. And
Correct.
So this is another speculation moment.
We've seen stuff. So.
Right. No, but like here, and I want to ask, and I'll ask the panel, you guys can figure it out how you want. Is it possible that we have in the past, over this past year, and are right now rushing to judgment too fast, rushing to judgment about the quarterback, rushing to judgment about the coaching staff? We're 2 games in, and we've already made a decision that Frank Reich was the wrong hire. I mean, I look, we're 2 games in, and there are 2 games that were winnable. And you're sitting here going, man, we're going to fire Frank Reich, Scott Fitterer, and then bring in another coach, another GM, and pair them with a quarterback that they didn't pick. Guess what? Then the narrative next year is going to be, oh, well, I got this little quarterback. I would have picked Anthony Richardson.
No, because Tony, we would do what the Bears are doing with Fields right now. You give him weapons, you make him show that he's a pocket passer, and he's not proving that. So they're like, okay, we'll move on from you. So if this coaching staff and this GM is out, I would be okay with bringing in new guys, giving Bryce some help, and then really evaluating him from that point. And if he isn't the guy, then you can always go draft another quarterback, which I think Bryce Young is still the guy.
Yes, I don't know. I think our problem in both the negative at this moment, but also in the positive, but going into this season, is we rushed to judgment that these guys were going to seamlessly find success from the beginning. That really has been Greg's central point, is that we all just acted as there was no question that this could not fail. And what I'm saying is we're 2 weeks in and we have already abandoned ship. And I just don't think I don't think it's wise. I don't think that you're wrong to criticize the coaching staff to this point. I don't think you're wrong to criticize the performance of wide receivers. I don't think you're wrong to criticize CJ Henderson getting torched once a game. I don't think you're wrong to criticize, but I think it's like here is like, it's at least let one season play out before we deem Bryce a savior, Bryce a bust, Frank Reich a savior, and I'll give the mic to Pickle. Is it possible in any world that we're just rushing to judgment?
First of all, if the offense opens up, if the offense is played opened up, then I'm going to bet money Frank Reich's not calling the play. He may have a sheet looking at it, but he's not the one calling the play. Number two, if all that happens, then you have to ask you, why are they doing it now? Why did they wait until Bryce was hurt on the bench and then they did it? Then all these other things that Bryce ain't really hurt comes back in your mind. Number two is I said it the other day after the first loss that I blame that on myself. I've watched too much football in my life for me to be fooled like I was this offseason, to be led down a path that we're going to the playoffs. Whether the GM sold it to me, whether the head coach sold it to me, whether anybody on the internet or not sold it to me because how great these players bringing in. I've watched too much football in my life. I blame that on me because I shouldn't have been fooled like that. I know better. And I think that everybody on this panel and folks on the internet need to think about that. Think to yourself, how long have you watched football and why were you fooled into believing this? Scott Fitterer blatantly lied to everybody on this panel. Yep. We were smart enough not to believe him to start with. We should have called him out then and said, you're a lying son of a bitch. And we should have told people on the internet, he's a liar, folks, don't believe it. But we didn't do that. We sucked right on into his little plan and everybody fell for it. So give the guys time. Either way, David Tepper ain't going to fire the head coach right now. So either way, you're going to have most of the season anyway.
Was the lie that we were just a quarterback away?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Dude, that is the lie.
If Scott Fitterer would have said something Marty Herney would say, well, we're adding talent in and we'll just have to see how things work or develop. We feel good about what we've got, but I don't want to make no predictions. Then people would have been carried. I mean, some folks would have been carried away as they always are, but the majority of the fans literally took what Scott Fitterer was selling to heart. They really believe that.
Can I add on to Pickle? Because me and Pickle were the one thing me and Pickle have agreed on is Scott Fitterer's trash. And we got flack for it. People were saying we're crazy. People were saying we weren't real fans. We were just telling the truth. We didn't see through his bullshit. And now everyone does. That's the problem with this. Like, if he would have just told us that, if he would have just institutionally telling us just based on what the roster is, because anyone that's smart could look at this roster and say, it's not ready to win the division. Like, it just isn't.
Let me ask this. Is Evan in the house?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you believe, Evan, that Scott Fitterer was that definitive in his statements about we're just a quarterback away?
I think he believed it. I think he believed he was, and I think partly on like what Pickles said, I think we all believed him because we were all in the hype and we were excited to get our QB because we thought we were going to get our QB. So we all followed along with him because we were all blinded by the fact that we were getting our QB. So we didn't realize that he could be wrong when he said that. And we fell for it.
JJ, why was it? Do you think it was as definitive of a statement? I don't know if he just I mean, I feel like we felt a lot of times if we just had quarterback play, we would be, I don't would say there Super Bowl contending, but competitive, right? I mean, we weren't competitive because of the quarterback position. And that, I think, is the idea of what they're talking about, is that we're quarterback away from being weak competitors every year.
Man,
I mean, what Evan said was true. We were literally blinded because of the hype that we were getting, the number 1 overall pick. And, we're just, it's kind of like getting it's like a honeymoon phase. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like we looked great at the end of last year with the run game, the offensive line, and now all we need is a quarterback, which we all really did think that, like, man, we get a competent quarterback behind the helm. Watch out for Carolina, and that's where the media
Sam Darnold was playing good too.
Yeah, and that's why Colin Cowherd was going on the air talking about they could be a sleeper, and we kept getting that media attention, and we're not used to that, and it's
Sam Darnold was playing good because Steve Wilks understood what Sam Darnold can and cannot do. That's the problem. This coaching staff is just like, Bryce, you're a Hall of Famer already. Go make shit happen. Like, dude, he's not Cam Newton. And the reality is that again, if we were just sold that this would be a rebuilding season, I wouldn't have any problem with that. But the team has never admitted that. And the reality is we should have kept Steve Wilks because he was finally building something. I like Steve Wilks. I just told people he wasn't going to be the coach because I know how Tepper is. He's a douchebag. And that's the problem. That's the problem with this team.
Hey, Tony, hold on. At the end of my call, when I said I apologized to Steve Wilks, you said you disagreed. And I just want to make it clear. I wasn't saying we should have kept Steve Wilks. I was just apologizing because all last year, I was like, this is some bullshit. What he's serving us is some bullshit. I wasn't buying any of it. I was like, bro, our defense is the exact same, and you're a defensive mind. The only thing that improved on why we were winning games was the offense. I wasn't really giving them no credit, which is why I apologize, honestly.
Yeah,
but
I heard you on the Spaces last night. I thought you made some good. I heard you on the Spaces talking about it, and it's more the leadership quality than than what he individually gives you as a play. I'm not all out. I'm not out on Frank Reich yet. I'm not going to be for 2 years. I want to see, I want an offensive minded coach and see what it does for us. I understand 2 weeks in that all of a sudden he's not some super brain offense, but he still is an offensive guy. And on the other hand is we can't only sit here and shit on Frank Reich if we're going to also say that the wide receivers are trash, that the offensive line is trash, right? And I think I do think Frank could have definitely handled that Saints game. I think that was a failure on his part. I understand that. I don't think that was a good look for him. But I also think, too, the week before, our biggest strength was running the ball. So he wanted to try to run the ball. So I think he could have adjusted some. I think he needs to – we'll see this. And I think you brought up something that's very important, JJ, is if he – all of a sudden we see whatever – and I don't like the term vanilla offense versus – you know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
It makes it sound like I'm a mastermind and I can just tinker shit up. It's really – play calling isn't about just making some fucking crazy play up right on the back of a napkin. Yeah. What it is about is calling the right play at the right time. It's like timing is the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you hit them and you just are flowing, and he isn't flowing as a play caller right now. I understand that. But I do agree with you 100% is that all of a sudden, if this offense looks significantly different from a play calling perspective, which I don't think it's going to.
Me neither.
that would be a what the fuck were you doing to your new kid?
Exactly. Like
you
completely
said,
mishandling the
fireable offense.
situation.
I think that would be wild. It would just be wild. I don't think it is. I didn't like his up the run, like his plays, but we can't say Steve Wilkes would have. He would have run the ball. We can't say.
I'm not saying we should have kept Steve Wilkes either.
No,
though.
earlier
I'm not
somebody
saying
said all of a sudden we need to adopt the Steve Wilkes game plan.
I said that, and it's not because of I thought Steve Wilkes was. I mean, listen, Steve Wilkes is an alpha. Frank Reich's a beta. He's not gonna hype up a team, but like the teams, the coaches that look like betas, at least schematically, are the smartest dudes in the business. Like Kyle Shanahan's not hyping his team up. He's just calling amazing plays. Yes, I know he has great personnel.
Can I say something real fast?
Yes, please. Who we got? Who's on the mic?
Who do you think this is, bro?
Oh, it's Kev. It's my bad.
I was just going to ask you to introduce him, but yeah, go ahead, Kev.
White chocolate.
Has Bryce been hampered by his receiving core?
Correct.
Shouldn't Frank Reich be hampered by his receiving core?
Hell no.
Well,
same thing I am. Kev,
I
you're making
think this
sense.
is. I think
You're
the
making
argument, Kev, that is legitimate about this is that it's his job as a play caller to try to find ways to overcome those handicaps.
And it's the same thing with Bryce Young as a quarterback. If you're an elite quarterback, it's your job to overcome those handicaps. It's the same argument.
Sure. But look, he can.
Is it not Frank Reich's job to make better use of his personnel on the field in general for the receiver, not just for the receivers, but his quarterback as well?
And
I think this is you had one week where he didn't. We have such a small sample set, guys, right? And it doesn't mean that
we don't, bro. Tony, I'm sorry.
We do. We have two games.
He has 5 years of this though. I'm sorry, man. Like Colts fans been complaining about this, and it's like
no.
Colts
We have
fans
5 years of first. You have 5 years of him with veteran quarterback. Like you have one successful year with an elite quarterback who wasn't a rookie at the time, Andrew Luck, and then you had a cycle of him with people who were journeymen or old,
but the personnel was like the things he wants to run are what you run.
All right, so why are you expecting Frank Reich to be
Jonathan?
good if they had better?
When you have Jonathan Taylor, but that's the part.
But
That's the problem because he and Scott Bitter made this offensive roster. They were fine.
I think Scott did.
So so now we put the blame all on Scott. Okay, so
because he has full
last
control
year
now.
was a problem as well.
He has full control now.
Last year was the first year that Coach O-line, when he was head coach, wasn't a top 5 unit.
Yeah.
It actually dramatically fell off. And the problem was he wasn't adapting to the situation. He was still calling it as if it was the same thing.
How are the Colts this year?
Plays, terrible offensive design.
Weren't they teasing the playoffs at one point with Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
the year. I'm
talking about last year with Matt Ryan.
2 years ago?
They lost.
Yeah, that was
2 years ago.
Okay.
Jags team.
Okay, hold on one second. We had I want to go to Alex. Let's welcome in Alex. He waited a long time in the green room. And Kyle let him in right here. So Alex? Welcome to the Friday Free For All. Tag on in.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Honestly, I'm gonna have to kind of agree here with Tony. I mean, it's only been 2 games, and we've played really good defenses in the Saints and the Falcons. We got to give them some props.
Oh my!
With their defense. Hold on. Give me a second. And we're playing. You know, give me a second because I've been in the back. I've been waiting. So give me a second to speak up here. And we're playing Seattle next week. Their defense isn't that great. You might actually see 24 to 30 points this week from Carolina, just because the defense in Seattle isn't that good. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, and we're playing. We got a veteran quarterback out there, so I don't want to say like, oh, is it because we played Bryce early? It really has nothing to do with that. A lot of it is just, you know, it's a new system. It's a rookie quarterback. We have an injured O-line. I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of little things that are going on in Carolina that we can't just like, you know, start firing and, you know, getting rid of people. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. We gotta give Frank a chance. You can't just like, it's only been 2 weeks, guys. You gotta give it a little bit of shot. So that's my take there, guys. I mean, appreciate it, but go ahead. Tell me what you guys think.
Oh man, he just dropped out.
I mean, I agree, and
he muted. I hope.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree in a certain sense that, like,
Yeah.
Pickle, fine. You can go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to say what Frank did for Minneapolis. A lot of people want to conclude that into his judgment here. David Tepper, who actually does the hiring and firing, doesn't give a damn what happened with the Colts. He's not including none of that. We may say, well, he looked bad up there. He's been here for a couple months. He looks bad here. Fuck it, let's fire him. David Tepper doesn't look at what happened up there. That's a totally different ballgame. It's like if you go to work at McDonald's and you really suck because you're a pathetic worker, they fire your ass, you go home, your dad and mommy chew your ass out, so you go down to the local Wendy's and you're the best player they got. Nobody cares about what happened at McDonald's. So I know we fans tend to think back before, but head coaches, when you go to, if the New England Patriots thought that Bill Belichick sucked with the Browns, so he wouldn't be there, he would have never got the job.
Yeah, I mean, look, I really have a hard time with this right now because y'all know my feelings go into this season as far as Bryce Young goes, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I feel like Bryce Young is a good quarterback, but not the best pick for the Panthers right now. And I think other people come to realize that too. Not that he's a bad quarterback, I think he can succeed, but maybe not the best pick for us, which is why it's difficult to trade 2 first-round draft picks for him. I think it's too early still yet, even though I believe in my heart of hearts that I don't think Bryce Young is going to work out as the guy for us. I think it's still too early to give up on him because it has only been 2 weeks.
He's a ceiling raiser more so than a floor raiser.
I think he can be. I agree with you. I really do think he can be. The problem is everybody saying this and you're putting your faith into this about him being that, but the only evidence we have shows otherwise. I'm not saying he can't do it, but you get mad when somebody says
but these receiving options really are bottom of the league. Like he's only going to be as bad.
You're right.
He's only going to be as good as the people around him, though. You got to keep that in mind.
You're right, but we were sold open, no assembly required.
Right.
That's what we were sold with Bryce Young. Was no assembly required.
Man, if the crackhead sold you crack, that's your fault for buying it, though. Like,
look,
you should be able to create your own opinion on the situation from what you watched. Like,
look, JJ.
That's because he doesn't watch college football, bro.
No, listen, I made
you don't watch college football, bro, and you don't watch the Carolina Panther games, bro.
Greg, you're the stat guy. You can see literally.
You don't watch the games. You go straight to the stats, bro.
As soon as the talent around him declined, his production declined. Like it was very evident, even just in that case, that was the situation about Bryce.
I made this point before we drafted him, and y'all were all agreed on this. And I asked, is the Carolina Panthers wide receiving core and offensive line that he has right now better than what he had in college? And all of y'all said yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you get this, yes, I'll go back and pull.
What kind of question is
I'll go back and pull the tape.
Dude, I've been saying these wide receivers were dog shit,
I will
bro,
go
before
pull
we
the
drafted
tape
a
of me asking
quarterback.
that question and y'all saying yes. Okay.
And of
Here's
course,
my
these
thing.
fucking receivers are better. They're in the NFL, bro.
What kind of question is that,
bro?
That's a rhetorical question.
NFL to college talent.
Yeah,
that's a horrible question.
Dude, of course they are, bro.
Of course, the pros are better than the college athletes.
So why is he having a harder time with?
Because they're not even in the top half of they're not even mid-level receivers of the NFL talent.
They are literally bottom of the league.
If I can iterate, it's not just on the wide receivers. The wide receivers are part of the problem, but they're not the only problem. The scouting review that me that me and Cody did yesterday, that's available for subscribers. And even if you watch 22 yourself, you'll find this. The offensive line, the interior of the offensive line is horrid. I told Cody yesterday, in reality speaking, Bozeman and Motrin should be the leaders of that team and help these youngins out. They're not doing it. They're playing as bad as they're playing worse. Bozeman played worse than Chandler Zavala did. Fact is, I would honestly say it, and people may not like it because they love his wife, and I understand that she's a great follower, and I understand all that. But reality is,
your husband ain't getting the job
Kate Mays probably played better than Bozeman.
No,
that's just fact. Bozeman's Bozeman spent more time on his butt Monday than he did standing up.
No,
that's a fact.
Pickle, we don't. No, you're right.
When I'm going to finish what I got to say. Now, hush. When Bryce hiked the ball, and twice, once he had to throw it or he'd have got creamed because ain't nobody between him and the tackle. The second play, the one play, if it wasn't for skinny old Chuba Hubbard to jumping away, Bryce would have got killed earlier than he already was. And not counting Motor, we're in roller skates in that game.
It's also this. Why are we feeling you're right, Pickle? Why listen, you can slander a player all you want. They're making millions of dollars. Who gives a fuck what they care about what we say?
Well, I agree. I totally agree.
Bozeman's playing like ass, and that's evident if you watch the film.
That's the bottom line, gang.
Yes.
It was a horrible resign.
One thing I want to say about that, because
Gregory, go watch the film, bro. Don't look at the stats, G.
Whoa. When it comes to Bozeman, I think this is an interesting conversation because one, our offensive line improved significantly last year when he came into the line, right? I mean, like that's a fact, right? Is it got better when we moved on from whoever that guy, Pat Eflon?
Yeah.
Right. So the one thing that's very difficult to assess when it comes to an offensive line is just individual performances. So I understand, look, is Bradley Bozeman might not be the greatest center in the world. He might not. But I do think right now it's very difficult to assess his performance when you have two rookie guards beside him who have been playing musical chairs for the last 2 weeks. And so I think this is like, look, I am willing to say this is that Bradley Bozeman has not played his best football as a Carolina Panther, particularly this last week. I think it's so easy. I think we're a little on the recency train, guys, because our offensive line was very good against the Falcons. Or maybe, how about maybe not very good. Maybe not very good, but it was good.
The Falcons have a bottom 5 front seven, and that's the bottom line.
We can't say on one hand we played two good defenses and then tell us that they
the Falcons are not good.
No, the Falcons are not good.
Okay.
The Falcons' defense is not good. And here's the thing. It's not just that he's playing next to two rookie guards. He was getting blown the fuck up by single guys. I watched the all-22.
It happened last year, too.
Yeah, like he's just not that great. Listen, a lot of these guys overperform. They're just regressing to the mean. And listen, I still think this has something to do with Steve Wilkes. I feel like he got the best out of these dudes.
He got them big boys to be doing big boy things up the middle, man.
That's it. That's just that simple.
I think it's too sweet of a storyline to just say that. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's just too convenient to be like, oh man, these guys. Now maybe Dion, maybe we ain't coming. What he say is we ain't coming no more. We here. Maybe we can, maybe that type of speech actually does have an impact, but I don't know.
They give someone to believe in something,
I really think this is, I don't know, we're just 3 weeks out from the Panther players saying it felt different. It felt different. It felt different. We're 3 weeks away from the players saying that they believed in it. And one of the things that we have done in the past is we've given up before the players have given up. And then they'll show us that there's more to it. I think regressing to the mean is a wonderful way of thinking about this. I think in many ways we overperformed last year as a team. We really weren't a 7-win team. And then you guys are and you're right to say, well, we could have been a 9-win team, which is true, but we weren't. I think too, I have said we are a 7 to 9-win team. And maybe I was a little scared to say that we're really a 6-win team in my heart of hearts at this point. But Pickle, I think this is all right. So you've been critical of Bozeman. Boy, don't let he's got a press agent that will come after. No, I'm just kidding. Nikki, I tell you this, Nikki Bozeman made him more money.
Yes, she has. She
She
really
has made him.
She really has.
She's an asset to him and his
Him more
brand.
money.
Yeah.
He
He needs not that.
Yeah, I was about to
not
say,
that-
you mean them more money? Like,
Yeah,
Good point.
If I may
Excellent.
say,
Okay.
I think a lot of the issue is also the style of running that we did yesterday or last year compared to this year. Last year was late in the year. We were doing a lot of powers up the middle. And to be honest with you, whether we like it or not, safeties couldn't ride the box last year toward the end of the year because if Sam decided to unleash that cannon, he had a good arm. He may not have been accurate with it all the time, but he had a good arm.
Hey,
And
Tony.
this year, the safeties aren't scared to crawl in the box. A lot of it had to do with offensive play calling and run design compared to what we're doing now and running backs. Foreman, to be honest, in a power run game, is a better back than Miles Sanders.
Absolutely. Hey Tony, you were talking about how the fans are the first ones to give up. I'm sorry, but what team does this look more alike? A Matt Rule or Steve Wilkes team?
Neither one. It
No,
looks like a John Fox. Neither one. It looks like a John Fox team, to be honest.
No,
In
because
terms of how
no,
man.
Pickle for real. Hey,
It does.
Pickle
It
nailed
looks
that
like-
shit.
No, it looks
a
like
lot
a
of y'all
John
probably
Fox
never got to
offense.
watch John Fox.
I
and the
know they don't.
Panthers.
Gee, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like a John Fox
Yeah,
offense.
I know exactly what you mean by that
It damn
shit.
sure does. It looks like a John Fox offense without Steve Smith.
No,
Y'all hyped up Moose all day long, but Moose wasn't good. Moose wasn't great until Steve Smith wasn't there. Then Moose became great that year.
I want to mention these super chats right here. This one came from a long time ago, about 25. Thank you, Risby. She said, "God," or he said, Riz said, "God bless you, Tony." And Riz also said, "We did not trade 2 firsts for Bryce." Yeah, because you got to think of the pick swap. It's a pick swap, but you did. You didn't do 2 firsts. I think we got a good deal for Bryce. I don't think we overpaid to move up
We
to
don't
number
overpay
1.
shit for Bryce.
Yeah, we got a very fair trade.
I think that, but when you ask me, does this team look more like a Matt Rule team or does it look more like a Steve Wilkes team? Is first, I don't know. And when I say I don't know, it's not that I can't make a decision about that, or I don't have enough. It's just I haven't seen enough. And what I mean by that is, in 1 week we ran the ball effective. Yeah, I would say this is I've been more impressed with our defense than I expected them to be.
The
right? Is that they have been better, but they have also played 2 shit quarterbacks. Let's be honest about that. Is that while we're saying this, the defense is great, and this is all on the offense, is they have played exceptional through first 2 weeks. But Ritter is a bum.
And so is Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr isn't far ahead of
But
him.
here's the thing, Tony. The defense is continuing to look good because we play like 3 good quarterbacks this year. That's it. Like we play.
Can I say one thing before you get into this? I need to call out V the G in the chat. Like, you got to chill out a little, homie. You said the chat is toxic, but then you call a whole city crackheads and prostitutes. So where is that toxicity coming from? I'm not entirely sure just yet, but hey, let's keep it as kosher. Ooh, yeah. You even made a Jewish joke earlier. A comment. So let's keep it as kosher as possible. There's my one right there. All right. Back to you, Anthony.
No, I mean, I was just I said everything I got to say. I mean, I think. Wait, what was I just talking about? To be honest,
Okay, well, let's go to someone else.
I'm literally playing a PGA golf right now, and on this, I have no idea.
You should take another shot.
He can't. He's working.
I'm not working. I'm just.
You're not.
I'm just.
You just driving around for the hell of it.
No, no. I'm here. I'm like playing PGA right now.
Oh, you're at your house now.
Yeah.
You were in the car earlier. You were in the car.
I was.
Somebody said this in the chat. They said, "Does Anthony just drive around all the time?"
Well, dude, I'm a DoorDasher. And
Yeah.
That was
after
me. I was
I'm-
asking if they live in his car.
No, after I'm done, I have things to do. So yeah, I need my car, man.
Okay.
Working
Let's
hard,
do
man.
Probably
this.
makes more than some of us do DoorDash.
Let's do this.
I
How
do.
about this? Can we let's do a fun thing right here. Greg, we'll start you off. 2 weeks in a row, the fucking calls have been so good on the C3 Panthers podcast that it's negated, or it's kind of forced us to omit content from the show, right? We've had to omit some of the news that we like to do at the end. And one of the things 2 weeks in a row, we didn't do our fucking picks. And I shouldn't be saying the F word. I'm sitting here telling people about toxicity. I'm just dropping the F-bomb all the time. Greg, Panthers on the road, 5.5-point dogs. Do they win?
I'm saying no. To be honest with you, I think Seattle is a pretty decent team. I'm not saying they have a great defense. I know they have a lot of players out on defense. I just don't think Carolina is a well put together team, to be truly honest with you at this point. Even with Andy Dalton, I think we may play better with Andy Dalton, not because he's a better quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Just because he's experienced. We may play better with Andy Dalton. But I don't think we pull a win out in Seattle this week.
Okay. Let's go to Evan Sports Talk. Do we win in Seattle?
I do not think we do. I hope we do, but I think we honestly probably have a better chance with Andy. I think it's just going to be one of those times where the backup QB is going to play better than the starter, but I do not think we come out with the win this week.
Pickle, do we win this week?
No, I think we lose 21-10. I think we play slightly better, but not super noticeably better.
Kyle, do we win this week?
Ooh, I don't know. I kind of want to be the dark horse, but being realistic, I don't think we do either. I don't think it's as close as I would like it to believe, or as a Panthers fan would hope it to believe.
Let's go to Miranda.
What's up? What's up?
Do we win this week?
No, we don't win this week, and I'm only looking forward to seeing how my fantasy teams do at this point.
Wow,
I'll watch the game. Don't get me wrong.
Goodness.
But there's just better games to watch. Like, let's be honest.
The 4 o'clock slate is not good, folks.
Well, the
Dallas, and the 1 o'clock games are awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, the 4 o'clock games suck. I mean, the Chiefs will probably win like 30-7. Like, Dallas is gonna kill Arizona. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we win. Listen, I don't know. Listen, based on how the offensive line is played, Andy Dalton can't scramble, and that's something Bryce Young has had to do for like the past 2 games. Andy Dalton is going to be taking a lot of sacks this game, I feel like. If they're smart, I said this again, if they're smart, they'll try to pound the rock as much times as they can to win the game. I think that's the key to the game. I think our defense will be okay. I don't know how we're going to match. Gino, they throw the ball a lot, so I don't know how DK, Tyler Lockett. I think no one's talking about this, but I think this is the game where JSN breaks out. I mean, it feels like if he's going to break out versus any team, it'd be versus us.
Did you see his separation number? Speaking of the Carolina Panthers,
insane.
Like
and this
7 yards or some shit.
This is why I wanted us to trade up for him in the draft. Like, I just feel like you could have traded up for him. I don't know. I mean, dude, I've lost my sanity, man. I don't know what to say anymore. Like,
hey, Anthony, where that kid go? Where that boy from?
Ohio.
Oh, you already know. He went to Ohio State. And listen, I'll give JJ credit.
Just Ohio.
Listen, I have Marvin Harrison.
Outta here, Tony.
I have Marvin Harrison in PrizePicks. He hasn't let me down in like the 4 times I've used him, and that's going to be a way more fun game to watch than the Panthers game. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go to D's. D's, do the Panthers get their first win on the road?
Yeah, probably. Everybody's picking against us. There's no reason why we should win this game. We're banged up. We're hurt. The offensive line is all kinds of mess. We were missing 2 amazing star players, in my opinion, on defense. There's no reason why we should win this game. But the defense had 4 sacks in game 1, week 1. And then again, we had 4 sacks in week 2 against Derek Carr. And that pressure might be too much, and we might come up with an interception for a touchdown. I hope it's C.J. Henderson, to be honest with you. I hope C.J. Henderson gets a pick 6. Panthers come away with some kind of like really ugly, like super ugly win because I feel like we're due, and those players definitely want to win. Just like Tony was saying earlier, it's going to be something like 19-16. Eddie Pinheiro's looked great. He had 2 50-plus yard field goals already this season, one from 52, one from 54. I didn't think he had it in him. He does. We win 19-16. Let's go Panthers.
I like that.
Evan, I'm going to cycle you out for 1 second, and we're going to bring someone in just to get their pick in real quick. All right. Just to hang out in the green room.
Oh,
just hang out in the green room. That's we're going to add in Jake. Let's keep in the order that we're going. And G Baby, are you there?
Yes, sir.
G Baby, do the Panthers win this week?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay, man. Why do they win?
Because I got faith that our offense is gonna at least try and put up the points. I don't believe in Seattle. I think Seattle's pretty fucking soft. And I heard, is DK Metcalf playing?
You know, that's a good question. I'm not
Garbage
sure.
regardless.
Yeah, but they still have Lockett's going to scorch this.
Yeah.
This is going to be some scorched earth for Lockett right here.
And see, bro, we just can't. And I'm going to stand on this shit. Of all my years watching the Carolina Panthers, man, when we were the most successful was when we were able to stop the fucking run, man.
Which we have never done.
Stop the run.
We've never done it.
We can't stop the run, bro. And Kenneth Walker and company is probably gonna have a fucking field day. And this is my problem with that 3-4 fucking defense, man. And this is another reason why maybe keeping Steve Wilkes was running the 4-3. I like big gorilla ass niggas on the front seven able to stop the fucking run, man. I don't like this. I don't know,
Hell
man.
yeah.
So
Hell
until
yeah.
we can
I
stop
like
the fucking run, dude, like when we had Star Latulier and fucking K1 Short, like bro, like
with Luke right behind him.
We still didn't stop the run.
G baby, I'm pissed.
We did better. We do now.
Gee, I'm pissed at you, bro, because Dante Jackson freaking got cooked on a double move by Raheem.
Yeah, fuck what G Baby's saying. Fuck what he's saying.
Dante Jackson had one bad play that whole game.
No,
You're pointing out one bad play,
no,
bro.
but that one play is the reason I lost to Nick Montiero in our freaking dynasty league, bro. I lost by one point because of Dante Jackson, bro. Come on.
Hot ass.
All right, let's go to Jake.
We ain't winning shit.
Damn.
We ain't winning a fucking thing. I'm gonna keep it 100. We ain't winning shit. We might not even win a game this year. We might not win a fucking game this year. I'm gonna watch every game. We can go 0-17. I'm still gonna watch every single game of it. But honestly, we might not win a game this year, y'all.
I'm gonna bookmark that.
You can bookmark it, JJ. Go ahead. Just like Ohio State might get beat by Notre Dame.
If that's the case, then we better be fucking shopping Brian Burns and company, bro. Because I
don't want to hear shit about you and Brian Burns. I don't want to hear it.
No, he's right.
You're gonna be sorry as fuck when we look their ass tomorrow.
See what you
But I will say this though. Does Brian Burns want to stick with the team? Like if we go 0-17, does Brian Burns want to stay here? No, he don't. Jay, you're right. He don't want to stay here. Hell no. I be wanting to get the fuck out.
No,
You
he
might
might
see him
actually,
stay
though.
off
He
season.
might, hold on, he might actually though. You know, like
Why?
he really.
Nah, he's tired of G Baby, bro.
Like,
He's tired of G Baby. He wants to get out, bro. He wants to get out.
He's tired of G Baby. All right, I want to shout out.
G Baby lives in Utah. He don't have to go far to get away from him.
I'm going to shout out Kev. Kev says the Panthers are going to win 2017. Man, it would be wild. I think D's in so many ways is like we're due. He said earlier, and the Panthers have been, but I'm tired of picking like that.
damn.
I'm tired of picking with my heart, with my over my head, and I do this a lot because I do believe in that. Is like there's a time where you flip a coin 5 times in a row and it's heads. And you're like, it's just got to be tails at some point.
Like a casino.
Yeah. But I do think this is I don't think that Andy Dalton significantly improves this team right off the bat. And I don't even think his experience is enough to make it that much different. I think that Bryce's struggles haven't necessarily been poor decision making. He just hasn't gotten his mojo yet. You know, he's just
play calling been garbage.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like nothing is like. There's always been something that's wrong. You know, it's
Tony,
just like.
Can we agree on that, G? Because I know you're the one that's like let Frank Reich keep the play calling, but I'm the type of motherfucker that I'm like, bro, fuck that shit. What I watch with Thomas Brown and fucking Sean McVay and fucking Los Angeles, bro, when I see that offense, I expected our offense to be just like that shit, bro. And it's not, bro. It's not even close.
Frank Wright deserves to be a freaking Billy Bob Thornton working on the street as a fake Santa Claus. That's what
Tony, let me Tony, check this out, dude.
That's a good ass movie, though.
Check this out, Tony. Tony, check this out. My dad is never gonna change, G. No matter. My dad is who he is, bro. An old-fashioned nigga. He ain't ever gonna change, bro. Frank Reich is old as fuck. He ain't ever gonna change his ways, bro. Bro, I'm standing on this shit. Him getting mad at Sheena Quick, or him having that little temper tantrum, and he threw that little attitude, that let me know everything I needed to know about fucking Frank Reich. He ain't ever gonna change, bro. He's never gonna change, Tony. I promise you, bro. I promise you, he's standing on that shit. He ain't giving up that play calling, dog.
I skipped JJ in the picks. Who you got, JJ?
All right, I'm gonna tell you why. I got the Panthers. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we won.
What the hell you smoking, JJ?
I'm smoking some real good shit. All right.
Hey, do you share that shit?
I might send you a picture afterwards. But I got the Panthers because if there's one thing I know about the MF Seahawks, they play to their competition. They really do. They do. The Seahawks over the past couple of years, they play to their competition, whether they at home or not.
Absolutely do.
They got a better coach.
We beat them last year. I know they want revenge, but guess what? We're gonna stand on it. 10 toes down, both feet down. All right.
Yes, the fuck we are, JJ. We gonna win this motherfucking game, dog.
Like we did last year.
Who's your player of the game?
Had some real injuries. All right. Derek Brown, Brian Burns, they're gonna give them hell. All right. And I want them all over Geno. All right. Yeah, CJ Henderson might give up a big play touchdown, but we gonna put up 20+ points this week, whether it's 3 touchdowns only, whether it's just 21, whether it's 24. We gonna get this game. We gonna pull it out. All right. We getting a W. All right. Like you said, Tony, it's a flip a coin. It's landing on the Panthers. All right.
Our pass rush is so fucking necessary as well, boys. We have to disrupt fucking Geno Smith. We have to make him feel uncomfortable. When Geno Smith is uncomfortable, he plays like ass, bruh. We gotta make that boy uncomfortable.
Justin Houston better show up.
All right, guys, as we're making picks and selections of winners, you can be a winner if you go to PrizePicks. And if you go to PrizePicks and use the promo code C3, they will, on your first time deposit, they'll double your money up to $100. You put in $100, they'll give you $100. They run a ton of great promos each week, from Friday, Flex Friday, to they'll have reduced entries. The way PrizePicks works is it is daily fantasy football sports. You pick the minimum of 2 players. They have to be from 2 different teams. And you are trying to identify if they can overcome the projected fantasy football number for that week, whether that be a rushing. Sometimes it'll be 1 rushing touchdown, or in this case right here, my boy Gardner Minshew, 215.5 passing yards. If he goes more than that, and you pair that with another player that you knock out, you get triple your money. You can play up to 4, 5 different entries and win up to 10 times your money. Some of the cats in this chat right here are really, really good at playing PrizePicks. G-Baby turns out to know more about women's basketball than he knows about football. No, he is good. You know what? I might be the same. I won on the WNBA about a week and a half ago myself. So if you go to PrizePicks and you play well, like G Baby, like JJ, like Anthony, like even our host, missing host Cody Lack, or my bastard son Kev, White Chocolate Espresso, you can win some big money playing fantasy football. But don't forget to use the promo code C3. Let's play a little PrizePicks together right now, fellas. I'm telling you this, is I want my boy Gardner Minshew with more, baby. More. Is that silly, guys?
Hey, Tony, can we bet over 50
can't use that
points
word.
Can we bet more than 50 points on Ohio
You ain't
State
lying on that,
Notre Dame's ass?
On what? Don't say the B word though. We can enter $50. We can select $50. But yeah, what was the selection you want to you want to spread a little bread on?
Can we bet that Ohio State was going to beat Notre Dame?
Oh, not on this site and not in this.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, JJ.
All
He's
right,
not
Tony.
picking up what I'm putting
Tony,
down.
Hold on. But Tony, I got the script. All right, you on whatever other app that does allow you. Bet the over on the Buckeyes, man. All right, that's what I got to tell you.
Buckeyes ain't shit.
Right. So there's no B word, JJ. You keep saying the B word there.
Let's go.
Hot garbage.
It's above or
I
below.
read the script.
We got to let's play some PrizePicks though here, and isn't Baltimore? Aren't they having issues with their secondary and injuries?
What's Derek?
And they still been playing good. Playing good. Hell yeah, they are.
So so is that risky right here? Is
No,
Gardner?
it's not risky.
Didn't Gardner
It's
Minshew
not
come out
risky.
last week and throw for like 170 in the second
The
half?
Texans are booty
But
though.
the Texans, yeah.
Yeah, but think about this. Like, I would still take them because
I would
CJ
take
Stroud
the over.
ain't.
I would take the over on that one
I'd
just
take the
because the
over on
Texans are
Minshew.
crap.
You're right, Jacob. CJ Stroud is not booty.
More. Not,
Better than Bryce Young. Who said that?
Is
Greg, you said that?
CJ
Damn.
Is CJ Stroud playing? I heard he was
wasn't
hurt.
me.
I
I
don't
said
know.
it before, but that wasn't me that time. So.
You know what? How about this? How has Indy's defense been playing? I would not feel comfortable
Their
with Lamar
secondary
Jackson.
is terrible.
Really? You think
Yeah,
Lamar is
who's
this a
secondary?
breakout game for Lamar?
Lamar's gonna dice him up. Oh baby, please.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Lamar, Tony, I'm not gonna lie, Lamar might win MVP this year. He is.
Oh, he might.
he's playing-
He might.
If you go watch that Bengals game, he was playing everything on the absolute breadbasket. Everything was perfect. So I'm not.
And I
gonna
got that
lie,
pick
against
right
that
too, because I
secondary,
picked him against the Bengals.
He gonna cook that Colts secondary.
Where did Lockett? Oh, this is the one that I liked a lot on Tuesday. Lockett and the Moore.
How old is Lockett? He's 30, right?
He is.
30
We
30.
wanted
He's
him
still
in
good,
24. God, he
Shit,
is.
I know he cooked us.
He
He
came
cooked
out
the
the
shit out of
same
us.
year, the same year Jamison Crowder came out, I think.
The thing I hate about Lockett is he's amazing, but he has SMJ there, and who's the other wide receiver on the other side?
DK Metcalf.
There's so many weapons, man. It's why it's so hard to trust Duke or Debo.
What about that one?
You said that, Jay, did you say that he's showing up Adam Thielen?
Y'all are missing the
Lockett,
easiest prop of
yeah,
the week.
in terms of
Tony,
age,
Tony, you're missing the
absolutely.
easiest prop of the
Adam Thielen's 33 years old, though, man. He's 3 years older than him.
What projection is the easiest?
The Kelsey touchdown versus the Bears. That's probably the
Oh, that's going to happen. Shit, he might get 3.
That's the easiest prop on the board.
He better. I got him in fantasy.
Where?
Bro, he think Taylor Swift.
I need him.
Rush plus receiving, I think.
Is
Rush
it not
plus
just receiving? This one right here?
They may have taken it out. Oh, they took it out.
Hold on. We could just go.
That Jalen Hurts
Just
rushing
type in
touchdown?
Kelsey in the search bar. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts ain't played his best this year, but I mean, he still played enough to where they win. I will say that.
That is a good pick
Jalen
right
Hurts
there.
also has an all-star.
He's definitely going to score a touchdown.
They have an amazing
Because
offensive
Shane
line.
Steichen ain't
Amazing.
plays no more.
All right, this is what we're doing, guys. This is how it works. We're going to make 4 entries this week. We're going to go Gardner Minshew, more than 215 and a half yards passing. Lamar Jackson, more than 224 yards passing. Tyler Lockett, more than 53.5 receiving yards, and Travis Kelce for a score. If you were to put in $25 and you hit all 4 of these guys, you win $250. So you need to go to PrizePicks and use the promo code C3. Should I have the onions to go power play here, guys?
Yeah, go power play.
Boom, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Oh, man, that should have. How is this not one? Why didn't I add this one?
Yeah, you should do that one.
Oh, man, we got to get in here and find another because Jalen Hurts is going to have a touchdown.
Yeah.
Against Tampa.
It's gonna happen.
Is it a touchdown or a rushing touchdown?
He can do any. It could be passing.
Touchdown, period. Yeah.
Touchdown, period. Oh, yeah.
That's a lock.
yeah.
What is that? Why are they giving away a freebie there?
Because somebody's smoking crack.
Man. All right. Well, let's find another. Man, you can pair that with the
Actually, while we
Kelce,
talk
and
about
that's
it, I
an
might go make
easy
a bet.
win,
Or
right?
make a wager
Or
right now, too.
let's see. Field goals made. Let's see. Pinheiro. Is he up here? No.
Did y'all watch the 49ers game last night?
How they smoked the Giants.
Yeah, did you see that Gano was hitting them long at field goals, though?
He was.
Man, fuck him.
That's how I feel.
We don't care about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
bro,
you
he was
back
making
up.
it
There
50
it is.
plus, bro. 50 pluses.
If y'all actually like watch that game last night, you can tell that Brock Purdy's overrated. Like, bro, dude, he should have thrown. Like,
Who?
Brock Purdy's overrated.
Yeah, but anybody can play on that offense, though. That offense is
Yeah, but
insane.
they were don't say that too loud, man. Trey Lance just
you
couldn't
guys
get
like
his
this?
shit together.
Yeah, Trey Lance could not
Yeah,
play.
but that's because they didn't scheme around him, though. They said, fuck your scheme, fuck your play style. You're going to play how we want to play, or too bad.
That's
And
exactly it. Like,
Well, we're not the 49ers. I don't care enough about them. Sorry.
Kev says this: if you go to PrizePicks right now and you use the promo code C3 and get your 100% deposit bonus, you can spend $20 and use 6 spots, and if you don't hit, you get your money back. So how about that? Is you can
ain't
open
losing
up
shit.
with. You could get
Nice.
100% promo funds and a free 6-pick play. Guys, I think I found my next play. What do you guys like? I like this. The Hurts, rushing and receiving touchdowns. Wait, that's rushing and receiving. So that's not a passing touchdown?
What's
How can he receive a touchdown? How can
Yeah,
he
he's a
receive a
quarterback.
touchdown?
The Philly special. They got to run that.
Ooh,
Yeah, you
maybe
could.
that's
Look at
not
Philly
as
special.
maybe
Look at
it's not
Bulls
as freebie as I thought.
no,
Well,
but when they get to the
you
1
also
yard
gotta
line,
remember they do that QB sneak all the
Yeah.
time. They're a rushing team, you know. Like even if the running back just gets to the 2-yard line, you know what they call him.
Have they did a
I-
QB sneak though this year though?
They did it. He had
Oh,
2
the 1 yard
rushing
line?
touchdowns last
Oh, he did?
game.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I
that.
didn't know.
He has double-digit touchdowns over the past 2 years. Like they do that all the time. Like that's free money right there.
I like the Jahmyr Gibbs 24.5 receiving yards. Man, I mean, he can pick that up on one screen pass, feels like.
Yeah.
And the same for Bijan Robinson, one screen pass. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to stick with this. We'll hit our Moors here. I don't ever, one of the things is only people I go less against. I usually go less against Justin Fields and less against Baker Mayfield. I usually felt like that was always a good play until I did both of them in the same game last week. And yeah, and they both went.
The Justin Fields under is good this week.
All right, that is PrizePicks. Thanks
I
for their
take them more
support.
than on anything Bijan. I tell you what, he is the truth. I was wrong, G baby. I tell you that every time because I thought he was gonna be mid.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
that dude is like a top 5 running back already.
He's number 1. And to everyone,
Bro, don't say that. Don't say that.
Everyone who's gambling tomorrow, I read the script. Buckeyes by 50. All right.
Oh, he said Buckeyes getting beat against Notre Dame. Hell yeah, JJ.
Yeah, I mean Notre Dame is good.
Sorry, bro. Don't forget week 1, man. Y'all still quiet from then, man.
What you talking about, JJ? I'm a Colorado fan.
Man, get out of here.
We're all Colorado fans.
Dion, baby.
We are all Colorado fans. All right, let's get back to the Panthers. We'll do a couple more topics and then we'll get out of here before it gets too late tonight. But this has been on my mind. What's wrong with Hayden Hurst?
Play calling.
Play calling. As good as y'all thought.
Now, when you say play calling, that was Jake. That we'll give Jake. We'll start with Jake here. Has Frank Reich had and I'm not familiar enough with the offenses from the past.
I'm not either.
I guess do you guys think is this? You said play calling, but is there a point where we just said this is like Hayden Hurst is just the best looking tight end we've had in a minute, so he's going to be good, but he hasn't been part of this. Where has he been?
I don't know.
He was good week 1.
He's been on the field. He's just not. To be honest, Frank Wright's calling plays, and Frank Wright doesn't actively use his tight ends a lot. To be honest, he just doesn't.
Well, I would disagree with that because he did use his tight ends when he played for the Colts. I mean, when he coached the Colts, he did because he had what's that tight end they have?
Eric Ebron had a
no, not him,
year.
not him, the other one.
Jack Doyle was always good.
Frank
no,
all their tight ends were always like.
Are you talking about the 6'7" guy that they have?
The big ass tight end? Yeah. He got dreads.
Woods.
Frank Reich just doesn't know what he's doing. That's why.
They have. I don't know what the other tight end they have, but
was Frank calling the plays and running the offense up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask this, Kyle. I'll go to Kyle. Do you think that Hayden Hurst is just being who he really is? And Hayden Hurst has had one season where he had 600 yards. He is or 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. He is a 300 to 400 yard tight end. Do you think that we got too excited about Hayden Hurst out the gate?
Absolutely.
We're going to Kyle.
We very easily could have.
Sorry,
and you're good, JJ. It's cool. But no, I mean that is a plausibility that he is only capable of producing, 3 catches a game, or 1 catch a game if he's relevant in that aspect at all. We may have gotten a little what's the
ahead of our
word?
skis?
Overhyped.
Like when you walk in the store and everything's like really, really, really shiny. So it all looks really good.
Mesmerized?
Yeah.
Mesmerized. Buyers, whatever that is.
Well, we were mesmerized. We saw his beard. Yeah. We saw his beard and we were like, oh, this Viking is
what
going
happened,
and we've suffered how many years with Ian Thomas, and all this bullshit.
Why Ian Thomas? Why can't he just go away?
I don't know, Pickle. I don't know. Why is Tommy Tremble not getting more reps than Ian Thomas?
Good.
I don't know.
Remember, guys, play calling isn't the issue.
Jesus.
Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
I got a question. And I only.
Our head
Let me
coach
get
is
in
who
here.
said that.
Let me get in on hers.
Well,
Y'all change subjects. Let me get in for you change subject. Yeah, let me get in for you change subject. So Hurst in week 1, who was hurt? DJ Shark, right? So Shark was hurt. We didn't have that many wide receivers. Hurst was in there as wide receiver number 4, man. He looked great because Bryce had some timing with him. He knew when Bryce always throws with anticipation. He had a good idea when Hurst was going to be open on his out routes, and he had a great game. Then the next game, he switched his position. He's not playing number 4 wide receiver. He's playing tight end. And then we didn't get to him until late in the game on like a check down. And that was it. That's what's going on with Hayden Hurst, guys. It has to do with injuries at other positions, not the fact that Hurst is horrible. He can still get 600 yards this season pretty easily, in my opinion.
He should.
Done that.
He should.
Shark was non-existent.
Damn, Tony, don't choke now.
Yeah, Tony, as DJ Chark's #1 fan, how do you feel after that?
Yeah, what about that hot take 10 touchdown season?
He's the real deal, right?
Yeah, well,
he's not good. That's all it is.
Is it just me?
I'm sorry, I gotta put you on that spot, man. That was outrageous. It could be. I truly felt like watching him in camp, though, that he was.
Oh, he lit it up.
I thought, and the reason I said that is well, yeah, you know what? I said it, and I actually believed. I wasn't even joking. I think that we've been told that Shark was too much of a one-trick pony, that he was just a stretch the field guy. And what I saw in camp was a more diverse skill set than that. Now
he's worse than Robbie Anderson.
he's played one game, and he's had one catch. So really, is that maybe he was really good because he played with my boy Gardner Minshew. That's when he had his 1,000-yard season and all them touchdowns. Maybe, I'll be the first to admit that I'm so thirsty for success in Carolina.
We all are.
That I've been very optimistic about every single part of this team, from the coaching staff to the quarterback to the tight ends to the it's like I've been walking in a desert of failure, and I want to have a drink of success. Yeah. So I did, and we did hear Chark's name throughout camp. Chark. That was the
That's all we heard.
Yeah, and now it's just Thielen at this point, or it's really not much of anything. I got to say, my biggest I was high on I just shouldn't draft Panthers for my fantasy football team.
Absolutely not.
I always am like this. Is like, oh, it's going to be the year. Miles Sanders is going to be a bell cow. He's not going to just be a and then he's not. Is it possible?
Right.
I thought that Miles Sanders in this past game looked slow.
He looked like he didn't give a fuck.
God.
Just like TMJ.
Is it possible the groin is still bothering him? Is it possible that the groin is still bothering him?
Tony, what's possible is that he's just a product of Philly's system because
he don't give a fuck.
Right.
Because DeAndre Swift literally the other night ran for 150 yards,
165 yards.
Yeah.
175.
Easy.
I mean, I understand that his success could come from the players that are around him. I'm not saying,
but he's going down like Chuba last year, like early last year. Like
Tony, it's easy to say that when you're running behind a Hall of Fame offensive line with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert on the outside, so teams can't stack the box. So since he is kind of fast, it makes sense why he was getting a shit ton of yards per carry last year.
He looks slow,
Tony, and that's why he looks slow. I'm
talking one play in the open field. I didn't see in this. It was the first play.
It was the first play. You thought he could take it to the house, and he got caught right for it.
It looked like his stride was short. And I think that groin is still bothering him. Just I think that Shark is probably scared to really push the hamstring to the limit in his first game back. So I don't think that we've seen the best of these players at this point.
And we won't.
I'm not saying that they're going to be world beaters either.
You know why? You know why he might have an injury right now? Because he was coming off his first year of actually having the workload. And he had a career year. And now he seems to be getting injured. Now he seems to not have any burst.
I think he suffered injuries too earlier. It's like it was actually last year was kind of the anomaly that he played so much. Am
I the only one that thinks our wide receivers not putting 100% effort into their routes? Because that's the way it looks like. But TMJ, I'm an LSU fan. I'm all about TMJ.
Did he even play last week?
You can't tell. I don't know, Tony. Did he?
TMJ was on the field, but he didn't.
TMJ he wants out of Carolina. I promise you. I bet you if he gets out of Carolina, he's gonna fucking be a Pro Bowler. I guarantee you.
That's not hard to guarantee. That's delusional.
Watch him go to Cincinnati. Watch him go to Cincinnati. Watch him go to Cincinnati.
Ohio State, bro, you tripping.
We picked the runt of the litter. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Terrace Marshall Jr. all on the same team, and we picked the runt of the litter.
Trade up for the second round.
Let's go get T-Mars.
Speaking of trading up, our third round pick that we traded up this year. This has really actually been Carolina's problem, is that we have not found real talent in the mid rounds. Not that we haven't found some players that can play, but just somebody that changes the dynamic. Think of what the Pikachu guy in LA is right now, or I don't know his name.
Piku, yeah, Piku. I don't know.
Peekaboo. I call him Pikachu.
No,
Yo,
listen,
let
that-
Anthony get this off.
He catches the ball.
Hold on.
He catches the ball, at least.
No, that dude's not even that good. He's wide open every fucking play. Like, go.
But at least he catches the ball, though, Anthony.
Okay, but who's the one that's scheming him open? Sean McVay. He's just wide open at the time.
So right now, Anthony, you're putting the entire blame of him being open on the coach scheming him. Like you're not giving him any credit at all for being a good player and being open.
He looks good because he's getting wide ass open.
And that's not his fault at all. Like him being wide open is no fault.
With Cooper Cup, okay, but with Cooper Cup being out,
I mean,
come
on.
on.
He's a solid player. He can catch footballs, but you should be.
Anthony, he has the most catches in 2 games in the history of any rookie.
Yes,
it's both. It's both. It's coaches.
Watch the film. He's wide open every play.
But he can't be wide open and be bad.
Hey, he can't.
I'm not.
Look at Ted Ginn.
I didn't say that the coach's fault. The fuck? What are you talking about?
No, he's saying credit. He's
Anthony,
using blame,
bro.
but he means
Come on,
credit.
drop
No.
this. This is a horrible.
You're saying right here that him being open is why
This is a horrible argument,
Whose
bro.
fault is it he's open? Is it the player's fault or the
We
coach's fault?
get it. Sean McVay.
Credit, Greg. Credit, not fault.
I
That's what I'm saying.
he's
I'm asking you to
bad.
give credit
I'm just
for it.
saying he's getting overhyped.
Hold on, I had a point though to this
Who
draft.
starts
thing
at
that
right
Tony
guard?
was talking about.
No, I was gonna say this is I was gonna use him to open up a volley of names of like also we lost. I don't think G Baby's here anymore. He tried to trade me Brandon Ayuk earlier.
I'm in here with you, G.
For what?
I don't know, but I should have taken it. Whatever it was, I just should have taken it.
One generous ass Negro, G.
I think he wanted Mims. That's what I think he wanted Marvin Mims, who I'm trying to bank on for the future.
Oh yeah,
but no,
But Ayuk's hurt, ain't he? Is Ayuk hurt?
he wasn't straight up, bro. None of
Ayuk
these
is
trades
still
are
good,
just
Hey,
player
Tony,
for
you know
player.
I'm
Yeah,
a
he's good,
generous
but he's
ass
hurt, though, right?
Negro, dog. I'm always trying to help, Tony. You know that, dog.
Tony.
And he's a free agent next year, right?
Or he's trying to bug me till I just break. That's the other thing, is that's how I got.
You better be
but
careful, Tony. G Baby owe everybody some money.
Brandon Ayuk, Cooper Cup, Justin Jefferson, was he a first rounder or just late?
Yes, he was. Hold
Okay.
on, Tony.
But
Tony,
like, here's
I
the
want
thing:
to
is
point
they
this
are
out.
the. Here, just let me finish this one point, and I'll give you the mic.
No.
The San Francisco 49ers, the New York Jets, right now have very talented rosters, and they have swung and missed on several first round picks in the last 8 years, but they have withstood that. They've been able to handle that because they have made hit some triples in the 4th round.
Yes.
So that's where it is like, so that's where the JC Horn situation truly hurts the Panthers. Look, players get hurt. It sucks, this and that. But we just weren't able. We don't have any players on that from that draft that have made an impact.
And that's why Scott Fitter needs to be fucking fired yesterday.
Okay, let's go to JJ now.
Now, I wanted to just bring up, like, since 2018, outside of the first round, our 2 best players we've gotten is Jeremy Chin and Dante Jackson. That's pathetic.
No, that's true. That's true. And
That's
Jeremy
fucking
Chin
pathetic.
right now is. Some people, Cody says he's the most overhyped Panther. I don't think that's.
He should be a linebacker. I've
He's
done
garbage.
said I don't give a fuck. I don't care about his body type. I don't want to hear that about his body type because I'm about to hear somebody say that. Oh well, his body type ain't right. Okay, his rookie fucking year that he played as a linebacker, he was almost defensive player of the year. So I don't want to hear shit.
Rookie of the year.
Like
You know what I
him
think?
and Luvu
I
are
actually
similar.
think-
Like he plays like a Luvu a little.
Yeah, I
less
actually think
missile
that
like.
Jeremy Chin is a base 4-3 outside linebacker, similar to like a Tampa 2 style linebacker. I think
He's another Thomas Davis, bro.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but
He is
the difference
misused.
The difference is Thomas Davis bulked up when he got the NFL because he had old fashioned muscle training, and now they don't do that because it's considered hard work, and you don't want to do that.
Wasn't Thomas Davis a different position?
Yeah, he played
He was a safety. He was a safety. Yep. He was a safety, and then yep.
All right, let's go to Well, actually, we'll do this. We'll finish that conversation out. Have we missed any players outside the second round that the Panther that have been player like JJ said? JJ said the two players are Dante and Chin. And the first two rounds are premium picks in my mind, right? Is that those are guys that really, in theory, should be playing a role on your team from day one. Maybe not full-time starters, but definitely noticeable, especially that second round pick. Kev says Brady Christensen. I think that there could be something that maybe a little there.
That was
we
a steal.
missed on so many defensive like remember all the Bravion Roy to
Lord. Let's not bring up Matt Rule again.
No, but there's a bunch of like D tackles that we picked in the late that never did anything.
The worst was Vernon Butler.
Garbage. Fucking garbage.
He was a first round pick.
Yeah,
he was.
And we picked him over Chris Jones.
You damn right we did. Thank you, David Gettleman. We all know you suck that much.
He was
overpaid players too.
That was all trying to muscle to contract leverage on Star and them. That was all that was, and it backfired on him. And he tried. Dave Gettleman's problem is he bought into his own hype.
He's a dumbass.
What college did Vernon Butler go to? Was it Texas Tech or something? What did he go to?
He went to where Skip Holtz, the former ECU coach, went to Louisiana Tech.
Oh yeah, you're right. Louisiana Tech. It was Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana State. One of the two.
Oh.
Yeah, my fault about forgetting Brady Christensen, but still, that's since 2018. That's 3 solid starters.
And the jury for a lot of people is kind of out on Brady Christensen.
Exactly, like 2 of those are still
best pass
marks,
protector.
That's pathetic though. Over that many years, that's all you could get outside of the first round to show.
I think you could go back farther, probably.
You can, Tony. You actually absolutely can. Curtis fucking Samuel came in the same draft as Christian McCaffrey, bro.
We're
talking about since 2018.
He would be wide receiver one.
He was injury prone too.
He was a second round pick.
Greg Hardy was a 6th round pick. And if I say the best,
that's because he had
that man working at Walmart and technology aisle right now.
He got
and that safety for the 49ers.
he let a woman screw his career up. That's what his problem is.
He made all-pro team last year and was a 6th round pick. Like, come on.
Now, there is a player that was a Panther. He was drafted in the 7th round. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Harrison
He's
Buckner.
won 2 Super Bowls and a Pro Bowl. Harrison Buckner, the kicker.
Fucking terrible. Terrible.
Yeah,
he's not terrible.
All of that.
No, pick on. No, I'm not saying he's terrible.
I got what you're
We didn't have and then we paid Gano, and then ended up letting Gano go later on. So, gosh, the Panthers have been a comedy of errors in the late, mid to late rounds. In fact, like that was the whole reason we all like Marty Herney, is because if we know we're going to suck in all those late rounds, you better hit that first.
I only said 2018 because that was the David Tepper era.
Right. No, that's fair. I think your point would even hold true if we went back. I think the last time was 2015, the 2015 draft, and then we shipped all those guys out because we had Ben Wickery, who played really well for us in his rookie year.
Big play, Benet.
Yeah, sticky.
And he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all.
We're first round merchants, man. That's
until he got injured. Like, did he break like an ankle? Did Benet break like an ankle or some shit?
Yes. Anthony, are we though? I mean, like JC Horn. Hey, whoa there.
No, I mean, I'm
considering
saying
what was after him.
I'm basically saying like that's the
historically, yeah.
Anyone, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the JC Horn shit, like.
And we really have missed on that. The Terrace Marshall pick was problematic. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, like, and here's the thing with that, right? Like, you just said, like, we had other guys that we could have taken. Yeah, and, like, even with that, like, first-round picks are supposed to be
premium guys.
Pretty easy to figure out. So, like, the fact that there was even still other guys just proves we're not a good organization drafting, which has to get better. Like, it just does. If we want to build depth, if we want to find gems and diamonds in the rough, that's what you have to do, man. So I think
you have to build through the draft.
Yeah,
There's no superstars coming to Charlotte, bro.
That's why Kansas City's so good.
And that's why we got to start this. Get Scott Fitter up out of here.
Exactly, because he doesn't know how to draft anything, and like it's pretty crazy. He still has his job, but
well, you know,
They won't after
this
this
is
year.
the problem, guys. If you want to fire Scott Fitter this year, after this season, I'm not going to argue with you about his performance, the questions in performance, but what we could be walking ourselves into. You talked about insanity being this, doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting different results. If we fire the GM this year, then we fire the coach next year. And then we have this, like, what we almost should do, I think, is let Fitter and Reich work through next season.
I'm sorry.
Look, and then
But what they don't sign nobody.
What we learn is we learn if Frank Reich, like, because if you want to, the worst thing you're going to do is this, I feel like, is to fire your GM. Then you bring in a GM, and then he's stuck with a coach that he didn't hire in Frank Reich, a draft pick that he didn't pick, and then you're going to kind of create the whole cycle again. And
but I told you, Tony, we would just be doing what the Bears are doing right now with Fields. If they get him some weapons and Bryce still shows he's not the guy, you can literally always go draft.
I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm disagreeing is the timing. I feel like instead of just throwing out one rotten apple at a time, what we should just do is wait to see which apples are all rotten. And I think Bryce is the last on that list. He has the longest leash because he is a rookie and you got to deal. I think you can't really make a full judgment on him until year 3 of his career. I think
you're right.
But I do think I just don't like what we did. We did it wrong in the past. We hired our coach first, then we hired the GM. So if we do fire Scott Fitter this year, we have to then really believe in the GM so much that we're ready for him to have the guts to pull the trigger and fire Frank Reich if he wants to.
If we go 0-17, Tony, do you think we keep the head coach and the GM? You got to fire both of them, though, right?
We
go 0-17.
0-17.
I mean, dude, we'll probably win 3 games. Like, this roster only has 34% of its personnel back.
We can win 6 games. You can you can split with Tampa.
And
we can split with
I don't know about that.
We can.
Frank
with Atlanta, maybe. With Atlanta, maybe.
Frank Wright always has an uptick late in the years.
Tampa Bay will win the division.
Tampa's a fool's gold team right now at 2-0.
They will win the division.
Baker Mayfield's cooking.
Crazy.
I don't want to hear Tony. You're a Baker bottom. Come on now.
No, they won't. No, I refuse to believe that Tampa's that good. Is Tampa?
I was a Baker bomb too, Tony.
But they're not.
They're
not going to win the division.
And this is what
the Saints will win the division.
I want to ask.
I think the Bucks will.
Because
let's go to Greg. Go
ahead.
I want to ask a question. This is kind of what Tony was saying a minute ago, and alluding to is like, should we decide to get rid of Fitter or Reich? What's the solution? Because you're only going to bring in somebody who is probably less experienced into a new system again, like Tony said, with a quarterback and a GM, or vice versa, a quarterback and a head coach that you didn't pick. So
that's true.
I understand. I understand the sentiment of where everybody's coming from. But the question is, where do you go from there? Like, is there an answer out there right now? Like, if you're going to fire either Frank Reich or Scott Fitter or both, is there an answer out there right now that you can
Not right now, no.
Let's go with that. Well, right now, is there an answer out there?
Would Dan Morgan be viable?
Dan Morgan, I would put Dan Morgan in immediately. There's also a guy behind him that was an assistant
Arizona.
manager. He's currently the Panthers player personnel guy.
I say that because he's
on the team already.
decent in his job, and he's already in house.
Now that would do.
I'm not saying
if you fire him now, that would do till the end of the year. I think he'd be all right permanent, but will Tepper make him a permanent GM? We really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the guy's not out there. I'm just asking who it is.
The argument about the experience thing doesn't work because Shane Steichen hadn't been a head coach, and he looks pretty damn good through 2 games.
But this
Frank
is
Reich,
2 games, guys. Man, we
Yeah,
were
but that's what I'm
3-0 with Matt
But
Rule
here-
at one
here-
point.
Yes, and here's
So,
the
like,
thing,
you could have been
Tony.
like that.
Here
You could
is
have
the
been like,
thing.
oh, well, Matt Rule looks pretty good too.
No,
They did. They did when we won 3 games with Sam Darnold. Everybody
I didn't say
anointed
that
us
shit.
division.
I didn't say that shit. I
Versus
didn't
the
say that
Jets,
shit.
No, versus the
did.
Jets, the Texans, and an injured Saints team. Like, it's a way different situation. This is a team that we were
That
so-
Cowboys game was a wake-up call.
Let's go to Kyle now.
I'm just saying, I'm basing my answer on your question, Tony, specifically on the fact that I do not want to allow Scott Fitter to have any influence on this coming draft if his past hasn't been completely tainted by Rule and he's had some sort of decision making in the last year. I don't have faith that he can draft rounds 3 through 7, and we only have picks in those later rounds. So that's basically what leaving Scott Fitter in there says to me is we're not going to draft any help for Bryce this next season.
Exactly.
I think I think that's why you go with this is instead of panicking too quick and just firing to make people feel better. I think we give Frank Reich and Fitter at least just 2 full years together. And then look, is because I hate the only thing that would be different is if you go and you you clean house, and then you bring in somebody else, and we go and win 4 games that year. Only thing that's going to be different, you're going to give them more grace because you didn't believe they were supposed to be good from the outset. That's the only difference here. The only difference, what we really did is we put the expectations on this team to be good right out the gate, and that might have. Look, if you look from top to bottom, the roster isn't phenomenal. I told you guys over and over, don't get too high on the offensive line just because it was good last year. Man, like, is that injury? One injury away. Yeah, one injury away from anything being problematic. I think what I would say about the Dan Morgan suggestion, I'm going to be I'm going to be on a pass on Dan Morgan, and
I will too.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have said, oh, man, we should make him our GM. I think this is right now. We have a bunch of people, which I don't think this is the case on Twitter. I don't think they're right, that said that Frank Reich, and they were saying this, I think, in the spaces last night, maybe even JJ. I don't want to call out. I don't know if I did. No, I mean, I heard somebody in the spaces. And look, let me bring it back in. Say that Frank Reich was a legacy hire.
That was JJ, yeah, and he's right about that too.
No, he's not right about that. No, you're not right about that because David Tepper had no knowledge of what Carolina's past was. He had no connection.
Frank Wright wasn't his first choice though either, though, Tony.
Frank Reich is not selling tickets for David Tepper. I'm sorry, you did not bring in a coach who just got fired. No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not a legacy hire. The reason they hired Frank Reich is this, and it might not have been the right choice. It would not have been. It may not have been the right hire, but this is exactly why. Is we just saw what a dumpster fire of a situation it was with Matt Rule and all of the shit and all the terrible. Like it was just chaos. You know that meme of the dog sitting
Had
there
his wife taking pics,
burning house. That was what Carolina has been, and I think that Frank Reich came in there and brought a level of stability. His floor was high enough to make Tepper just feel comfortable that it's not going to, I'm not giving the keys over to a madman. Not because he was the best. So I think this is the reason I don't want Dan Morgan at this point is I don't want it to come back to this is in 2 years, if we're struggling, we go, well, we only hired Dan Morgan because he wore a Panthers jersey.
Yeah.
Well, you just Frank Wright only played for us for 3 games. And in the Atlanta game, his last game, I think, he was sacked 9 times. He actually shared that record with Cam Newton. For most of franchise history. After that, Kerry Collins went in. So if Frank was a star for 3 games, that's it. And his head coaches are assistant, whatever, you know who the head coach is back then. But anyway, I don't really think Frank was a legacy hire. I think Tepper to be honest with you, I think Tepper wanted the Lions OC
Ben Johnson.
badly.
Ben Johnson,
And
right?
Ben Johnson slammed the door in his face before he could. And
That was who he
think
wanted.
Tepper wanted an offensive coordinator so bad he went
Rushed
that he got Frank Wright, because if he didn't, he was scared of losing Frank Wright. I don't think he wanted Shane Steichen at all. As much as I wanted Shane Steichen, I don't think Tepper wanted him. Tepper did a Zoom interview with him, and that was it. Didn't even bring him into the stadium. So I don't understand why Tepper didn't, but I believe that's the whole scoop. I believe that in the end, I believe Tepper went with Frank because Frank promised to bring all these coaches in.
He got suckered.
And
He got suckered.
He was an offensive coach. And that's what Tepper wants.
And he had pro experience. I think that Tepper felt a little snake bit when it came to taking a risky pick, selection, and the risk being an unknown, the unknown of Matt Rule, the allure of whatever everybody is saying. So I think that these coaches that had never had a full-time job before, these assistants, and look, is even Ben Johnson is only 1 year of experience at a success at that level, right? Is that I think there's such a risk with that. And I think he was like this is I bet on a stock. I angel invested in Matt Rule. And now I just want to buy Microsoft. Microsoft isn't, it's just like, might not be the company of the future, but it pays a dividend.
Right.
So
Better invest in Amazon.
Yeah, I mean that's the company right now. I guess you would say that. All right, let's go to I think
if I can say real quick, sir, I just want to say real quick. For me, I'm going to if I had to evaluate Scott Fitterer, if I take out everything he did under Rule, I have to evaluate what he did to the free agents he brought in and the draft picks this year. And so far, the draft picks are Bryce Young, Jonathan Mingo, DJ Johnson, who's been inactive, James, who likely so far is a developmental prospect. If we're lucky, he'll be playing sometime next year as a backup. Jamie Robinson, who looked bad in training camp and preseason, and we don't even know if he'll even make the roster. So, and Chandler Zavala.
How would y'all grade that?
Right now, I would grade that as an F.
A C plus.
Yes.
At the most a D. But anyway, that's me. So
let's shout out our newest super fan, Joanne Dunn. I don't know if that name sounds familiar to you, but that's my mom.
Dunn.
Mom, you could have just given me $2. You just could have given me $2. Instead, you got to give 40 cents or whatever, 80 cents to YouTube. But thank you, Mom, because A, that does help the super fan numbers look cool. B, she might win Mega Mingo, and that means I get a Jonathan Mingo jersey.
There you
C,
go.
give her a shout out for typing like the kid. Look, she's young in spirit. If you look at how she typed her name.
Hey, that's all you gotta be.
That's how the youngins type it. That's how the youngins type it, Mom. All right, let's answer that question. Let's finish the show out with a final topic. What the heck is going on with the offensive lineup here? And that is, I thought it was strange and a mistake to put Zavala on the left last week, particularly when your boy, what's his name, the offensive line guy, Thomas Brown, came out and said, nah, we're going to keep him at right guard because that's stability there. And then they were like, no, at the last second, they're going to put him on the left because of the 5 games he played beside Ike Ekwonu. No, is what are the Panthers going to do with these guards? Are they going to continue? Who is this? He's got such a strange name. The guy that came in and played a little.
I don't know how you say it. Doc Martin or
Brock Morton.
Yeah,
Calvin.
Throckmorton.
Calvin.
Calvin Pickle.
Just call him Calvin.
But the thing that is interesting about this is, or to me, is one is we've been trying to that right guard position was a real question mark in week 1. We were wondering how Zavala would hold up through an entire game, just because he had missed some camp time and some different things like this. But he came in and played. The offensive line played well in week 1, or well enough, at least particularly in run blocking and things like that. In week 2, They moved him to the left. They had to bring in Cade Mays because of the Brady Christensen injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then he lost his position to the Brock Morton guy, Brock blah, blah, blah guy.
Yeah, whatever. Calvin.
Yeah.
That's his first name anyway. So
Cal. We ain't even call him his full name, Cal. But the thing is Reich was asked a question about it today, and he said generally we don't cycle linemen, but because these guys are young and we're trying to feel it out, that we felt like Cade Mays could use a break. And really, what he meant was he wasn't playing well. Right. Zavala wasn't playing well, and I don't know. Maybe it was the PFF grades. He was graded very low by PFF.
He was lower than K Mays.
Yeah, he had one free guy go past him, and I think he had a penalty. Like, and I don't know how much, like, when you're checking off like their little mathematical system, I bet you those two things dropped him tremendously. It's like getting a 0 on a quiz or something. It doesn't matter if you're a C student. All of a sudden, you got an F grade here. What do the Panthers need to do? How do they weather the storm at guard, or how do they arrange this offensive lineup? And you guys went back to talking about earlier that Bradley Bozeman was not playing that great. You know what I think?
And half the reason.
I think that could be part of the reason. I think the Panthers missed an opportunity of drafting a center in this draft.
Yep.
Because there wasn't a bunch of great like linemen just in general. And I feel like that's how you get a center in the 4th round.
Don't tell Scott Fitterer that this team was plug and play with the quarterback. It was a QB.
Bozeman is the reason why our young guards are not playing as good as they should be. And now the reason why I will say that is because your center is supposed to be the guy that gives call outs and points to, hey, I want you to make sure you watch out for that middle linebacker right there. Yep. He's supposed to be that guy. And Bozeman's not been doing that. Bozeman's been on the ground a lot these first 2 games.
So what do we do?
James Campton's got to get him fired up or something. That's all I can think of.
I mean, they ain't a lot. We went into this team with very bad depth. So it's what we got now, unless you go to free agency, sign somebody.
We need Corbett.
I mean,
who starts there this week? Who starts there this week, Pickle?
Huh?
Who starts at right guard this week, Pickle?
I'm going to say Throckmorton.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, me too.
But if it's me, but I mean,
any chance
I don't see a lot of difference.
Right.
To be honest, I don't see a lot of difference between Throckmorton, Cade Mays, and right now Chandler Zavala. I don't.
I don't either.
I mean,
Nash Jensen might even get in the lineup for all we know.
And here's the thing.
He wasn't active this past week.
Let me say this. Why? So, like, this team wants to win this year. Scott Fitter should have been looking in the free agency market for O-line help, but he didn't do that. There was a guy, Dalton Risner, that was out there who signed for $4 million. You could have signed him, and he could have played guard for you.
Right.
So,
he listened to y'all fools all last year saying how great the offensive line was.
Well, that's the thing. He shouldn't be listening to the fans. He should be listening to himself.
That's a good point. It's a good point. He's right. I think that was kind of
Tony was cooking a bowl of cereal right there.
Hang on just a minute. Let me say this. Let me say this way, just in case David Tepper's listening. Dude, you need me as your GM. I got this under control. Don't fail.
Pickle. Don't fail. You gotta realize we're basement drillers. Remember, we're basement drillers.
You're right. Yeah, man. Nah.
I come with a lot of assistance, and
we're in a basement. Pickle.
I got age on my side. These other ones, they just barely out of high school.
You're gonna be dumb and ignorant like Frank Wright.
I'll tell you this: is if you want to overpay a guy for a poor performance, I'm your dude, David Tepper. Okay. All right. JJ, thoughts on what do we do at offensive line? I know that we may have missed the boat. How do we fix it just for this week?
Man, Tony, I hear you saying all the time about how you were not a believer in the offseason in the O-line. You wanted to see it to believe it again. And I was right there with you all offseason, man. I was like, we had injuries. And you never know when your rookie might have a sophomore slump. And I said that. I even got receipts for that.
You're right. But two major injuries, too. You had Corbett coming off of the ACL late. And it's a miracle that Christensen was back in, like, we were like, you know, I mean, you were just expecting those dudes to contribute from day one.
Exactly. You know, the O line, you know, especially because we don't have no good O line. So I really just wanted to see it to believe it, especially when we're going to have a brand new coaching staff, all this new stuff. But when it comes to the O line, man, I do believe we're missing our best offensive lineman right now. I think Bozeman will play better when we get Corbett back. Hopefully, you know, we could just give the two young guys on the left side some time, and they'll come out to be what we really want them to be. I mean, like you said, Tony, if we're being too early with Bryce, Frank Wright, and all this, then we're definitely being too early with these two young guys on the left side.
Yeah,
Well,
I want to see this Nash Jensen. I want to see this. I
kind of do too.
Because, like, there's always some guard like a Norwell who comes out of nowhere that is just like a big mean Tony? Viking white boy.
That was
don't bring it up, JJ. No, JJ. No. Yeah,
I have the last question for the panel.
Okay.
He gonna be celebrating with me tomorrow.
I do want to say this: being a Panthers fan right now, I don't know if y'all watched the Peanuts at all or Charlie Brown growing up, but like there's a scene obviously on Halloween where they're like, I got a candy bar, I got this, and then Charlie's like, I got a rock. Like that's honestly what I just feel like we are right now, bro. We get a fat rock instead of a freaking candy bar, man. Listen, this is my last question for the panel. If we do lose this week, where do we go from here? How are y'all's expectations from that?
We pray.
And if we win, do you think that we do start Andy Dalton? I know we're not going to, but
no, it's not gonna happen.
If we win, you know, everybody on Twitter's, we're going to the Super Bowl. We've got it.
Exactly.
If we win, that's how I started my call on the post game.
You know what? I'll tell you exactly how I feel if we win this week. We'll
start. Come on, bro.
We'll start the season. We'll start the season 1-5. If we lose this week, we start the season 0-6.
Yep.
I don't think we match up well against the next teams down the pipe, and I think that if there is an opportunity to, and look, I don't even know if we match up well against the Seahawks. Only the fact that their defense, like you said, is if somebody said this earlier, it might have been Kyle. I think it was that Kyle that said this. Is that if our offense does well this week, it might not just be because of Dalton or play calling. It might partially be because the opponent we're playing is playing with one leg.
They are.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, I think that's why I think I understand why Panther fans have been disappointed at this point. Like I said, we've been walking through a desert of failure looking for a drink of success. But at the same time, I think we knew in the back of our minds that this season, for it to get to that 8, 9, 10, or what some people say in 10 wins, this first 2 week stretch was a moment you're going to have to be successful, you know, and it might have been just a split. I was hoping we could have pulled out both, and we were both right there. You know what I'm saying? Like both games were winnable, but like I'm telling you, man, wait until that offensive lineman goes up against Aiden Hutchinson. And somebody in the chat, they were not here tonight, or maybe they said it to me. It was on Twitter. I said that Brian Burns had the best spin move I had ever seen. And they said, well, I guess you haven't seen Aiden Hutchinson. And I have not paid attention to his spin move, but I saw him do the spin move, and they were right. That mug did a double spin move. He spun one time, whoop, whoop, and then whoop, whoop, back.
Who?
Like
who we talking about?
Pirouetting like a ballerina out there. Yeah, man.
Oh,
this
Lord.
dude,
And he was gassed out of it, bro. He weak.
You don't like him?
Hell no.
Oh, Michigan.
I like him, but I don't think he should be number one paid tight end in the league. He ain't better.
No.
No. Y'all talking about? Oh my God, who the fuck am I talking about? I know who y'all talking about now.
I'm talking. I just think this is Detroit's defense their front is legit, and if you're
they are.
Our offensive
and our coach good too.
We don't match up against them.
The Seahawks ran all over them.
Okay, well maybe that's how you beat them.
I don't think the defense is that good. Like
They sure as hell look good against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
man.
Please don't tell me he's got the law firm out
No,
there.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they look good for the Chiefs, because Kadarius Toney gave them 7 points. That's the only reason.
Yeah, there you go.
That's literally.
How about
I disagree, but okay.
Hey, did y'all see the text messages and shit between him and fans? Kadarius Toney, that shit was hilarious.
That's
Oh my god.
But I think this is okay. So maybe you think that. Look, I think we match up better against the Seahawks than we do against the Lions.
Our best
what about the
matchup,
Vikings, though?
our best matchup is versus the Vikings. That's probably the only.
Bro.
I disagree. I disagree. Who the hell is
alone is gonna kick up?
No, on the offensive side.
That's what I'm.
saying.
Yeah, Anthony's right.
When we go up against their
100%.
defense, their defense.
Yeah, but they can
sucks.
keep
They got decent defense.
Yeah,
like
they
we
can
scored
keep up.
28.
No,
they
they
can score
don't.
28.
Listen, here's
No,
the
they
thing. though.
don't.
We have a solid defense. We have a solid defense. So at least the game will be high scoring. It's better than putting up 10 points and losing by.
High scoring. You think our offense is going to score more than 17 points?
Let me ask you this, Anthony. Do we have a better chance against the Vikings or the Seahawks?
The Vikings don't have a good O-line.
Well, here's
either.
the
They
thing.
can't run the ball.
We may only win.
Okay.
But they got the best wide receiver in the league, though.
Listen,
And they
here,
lost
that's
to the Bucks. Like,
that's
come
what-
on.
Yeah, but okay, but the Bucks are way better than us right now.
But hold
That don't
on,
mean we
no,
can't
no.
beat the Vikings, though.
No, here, hold on.
And we're at home.
Seattle is very injured, so even if
It don't matter about a home game. Have you seen the fans?
even if we win this game, it's not going to be convincing because Seattle has half their team out on offense and defense.
I don't care if it's convincing, man. I'll take a W.
No,
I'll take
I know.
An unearned paycheck all day. I'll take a spin right now.
We need
that's
that
fine.
water. We out here in the desert.
That's fine. We need a watering hole. I get it. But
Charlie said we'll take that overtime dub. He don't care.
If I'm being honest, though, yeah, it has to be the Vikings because even
Okay.
though it has to because
We can win these next two games. As much
I
as
will
people
disagree.
don't admit it.
Who's the second? Who's after Seattle?
The
Detroit.
Vikings.
Vikings and then Detroit. Vikings and then
Okay,
Detroit.
okay.
And
So
then
Big
maybe-
Cowboys,
maybe-
right?
All right, maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe
and then the Texans at home, baby.
I
That's
think
gonna
going
be
on the
nothing.
road here is going to be a little bit more difficult than we think. I know. We'll see. Is that maybe? Hey, is that if you can't win this week, I know 1 week you're not going to be able to win, and that is against Miami.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna win against the Cowboys either.
Oh yeah, the
Hey,
Cowboys are. Yeah, Cowboys
The
are.
Cowboys are
fucking-
gonna annihilate our offense.
They're liable to score 40 plus on us. No joke.
You know what? Is
I'd
you
be
better.
surprised
You know
if we
what? You
scored a
better have an
touchdown.
Andy Dalton package that week against Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be they could beat us. The Cowboys could beat us 10-0 by just
Bryce Young's ankle will be conveniently hurt that
Oh
weekend.
God, please.
This
please.
shit
I'm
better be.
okay with
It better be, JJ.
It better be.
I got
Micah
no
Parsons
problem
gonna-
with
No, it was. I'm sorry. Hold on. I thought it was mad funny when Bryce tried to outrun the middle linebacker and he just caught
Oh,
right
Lord.
up to him. Imagine that, Michael
yeah.
Parsons.
Hey, I
Michael
want to bring
Parsons-
that up. I want to bring that
That
up.
man
because
will-
DJ, you just brought up a good point. He like you were saying, he may conveniently be hurt for the Cowboys week. I read some article. I don't know if it was Scott Fowler or Darren Gann or something, but they said the Panthers are in this for the long haul with Bryce Young's health. And I saw clips. He wasn't wearing a boot or anything. I think this injury
Yeah, he's walking fine.
over exaggerated, and I just
It is.
don't-
He completed the game just fine on Monday.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
And he has no limp when he's walking
Yeah,
in.
Brandon
David Newton.
Christensen completed
He
the
had
game
a
with a
little
torn
hobble.
bicep.
The
Yeah,
video
hey,
that David
wouldn't you,
Newton
though-
shared, he didn't have one.
Wouldn't you?
Here's the
if
thing:
look-
when you
if look at the
finish a
Panthers-
game,
if
go
you
ahead.
added, if you added the offensive line with the wide receivers, all that together, and your quarterback has a light spring. If this was a playoff game or we were competing, getting with a possibility of making the playoffs,
Oh, he's playing.
I think he's playing, but we're not. So right now, your running game's struggling, your pass game's struggling, your offensive line is definitely struggling, and now your rookie quarterback's a little gimped up in week 3. Are you playing him or are you putting the backup in?
I'm putting the backup
I
in.
think it's got
Me
a lot
too.
to do with the short week. too, because we're
Yeah.
coming off a Monday
Yeah,
night
and
football
that too. I mean,
road game. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we might as well play conservative.
I do say this though, is that if that really is, if he's not nicked up, you know what I'm saying? If you're exaggerating this, I would be very disappointed.
Dude,
Because
the fact
I'm
that-
really willing to just take my lumps with him this year.
This
No,
would
I
be,
am too.
by
I
the
am
way,
too.
that would be all under the watch of that man, Frank Wright.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
telling
no,
you.
Needs
and I think-
experience too, though.
And no, listen.
Yeah, I
just gotta
agree.
say
I'd
this.
rather just be bad and Bryce Young get better throughout the year.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
what I was hoping for.
Absolutely.
Just throw him, and then if he actually gets injured, like he actually gets laid out, and he
Or he gets
actually
sacked every
needs
other
to be-
play.
and he actually needs to be taken off the field because clearly his injury wasn't severe enough, like Anthony Richardson's in game 1, where he had to be taken out of the game. Then
Injury
it's like,
prone.
okay, then let him sit But no, Frank Reich, I feel like, is just trying to preserve him so he doesn't get his ass beat this week. Like, dude, no, this dude is a tough kid.
I hope.
Let him
Well, let's
play.
just hope it's not that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like it really could be an ankle sprain. You know,
But
and you don't have to
it
be
could
in a
be.
walking book.
But an ankle sprain is like 4 weeks, Tony. They said.
Oh, dude, I couldn't walk on mine. I couldn't walk on mine for about 2 weeks, dude.
Exactly. They said
Yeah,
he
but
would.
these
Well,
are
I think
high-end
they
athletes.
always accelerate a timeline for return more than they over exaggerate it. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
they're
besides
going to
for obviously-
downplay the injury more than they're going to upplay it all the time. So I don't know. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into that. I will be curious to see, and we won't be able to know until weeks down the road. If this really is like we're in such a desperate situation, we want to win so bad, and we may have prematurely put in our rookie quarterback, then I will be upset about. Then that means they're second guessing themselves,
Tony,
and they
I-
should have just stick with your plan. Don't try to squash the noise. Try to not listen to fans, and just go out there and believe in yourself.
Tony.
And so I will be I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that they're trying that they oh crap, maybe we rushed this. I think he's nicked up a little, and they're like you're saying is that it's better to err on the side of caution on a short week than it is to, I don't know. It's kind of sucks. It just sucks. Can anything can it fucking be worse? You know what I'm saying? It's week 3.
Yeah, it could be an ACL tear. It could be an
Yeah,
ACL
it could
tear.
be
That
the
could be
jet.
worse.
It could
Can I
be the
say
Jets.
this?
I just feel like, man, all the hits. It's like, oh, Shark got an injury. Chark got an injury. Miles Sanders got a groin. But Brady Christensen out. It's like just every day I wake up and I check
J.C.
the
Horn.
news, and it's just, JC. It's like, can we have one piece of good news? Like
Tony,
one.
Can I say this? What I've learned over the past 5 years is the fans are most of the time more right than the front office. So we damn sure gotta hope you're right about this one, bro. Because I would not be surprised if they're holding him out for like just an odd, terrible reason.
Like developmental.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
you
like
know what? You could take a few weeks off, Bryce. It's okay.
Yeah,
Nicole Tepper will
Way
keep
to ruin
nice
a
and
fucking
fine on the
person right
sideline.
away. Way to
And you
ruin
know-
them.
And you know what that goes into, JJ? How they told us this team was ready to win this year, and they try to convince us we can win with Andy.
You know, Bill.
Nicole
Vogt-
Tepper is massaging that foot as we speak.
Hell yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Bill Vogt. Do you guys remember Bill Voth?
Yes,
Bill-
he was right. He was right about a lot of the stuff.
Bill
When he
Voth
told-
used to be in charge of their media department. I got 2 questions. I'll ask these 2 questions. Well, Bill Voth came out and made a public comment recently, and he said this. I'm not with the team anymore. Maybe I'm out of my place in saying this, but he said that the Panthers media and the team kind of over contributed to the inflated optimism. And so now when we're dealing with this hardship, they should have been the ones realistically talking about a long timeline, developing a rookie, not like, oh, like you guys are saying, we're just a piece away type mentality. So that's one thing that sticks out to me. Another thing that was interesting is he also wrote a media piece for a business blog, right? So like the Business Journal or something. And he talked about 5 teams that had cutting edge media departments. And guess who wasn't on the list?
The Panthers.
Yeah. And
The
I
one he
thought
worked
this
for?
I thought that was crazy, particularly when Darren Gant's attacking the media. I don't know, man. It's just like we need something, man. We need something good here to happen to the Carolina Panthers. In fact, you know what? We're about 3 hours in. So let's go around the horn and get our final comments in for the night. We'll start with JJ.
Oh, all right, bet. I already got what I want to say.
Well, give us something else.
All right. I think the best way to move forward in terms of this team, like in terms of a roster standpoint, I think the best way they need to look at this situation is Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Bryce Young, and Icky are the pillars of this team. They are who we've invested in, and we need to get Burns under a contract. We need to look forward to that. Derek
Say that
Brown.
one more time, JJ, for G Baby to hear.
Let's hear the players one more time.
The 4 players that we need to build around this franchise around is Ike Ekwonu, Bryce Young, and Brian Burns and Derek Brown. J.C. Horn has to prove himself, and maybe he can add himself on there. But until then, no. And everyone else, we really need to build around those 4 players.
I like it.
And whether we have to fire Scott Fitter and Frank Wright this offseason, we really need to hit a home run. I'm telling you,
I think you're right, and I think you're really right on one, and I'm starting to change my mind on the Burns thing, JJ. And I know that, I don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I think that every great defense usually has two good pass rushers. And to us not have any good, what we need to be doing is let's get the elite dude beside him.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it's like if you start
through the draft.
If you hit the home run on the GM and the head coach, you're gonna start hitting on some of those picks. Imagine you hit the next edge rusher to go along with those 2 guys. You got a vicious D line at that point that can win you football games off of their backs. All right. Let alone the offense you can then start to look forward to building around. It's a situation like that, but you have to make that the plan, identify the situation, then make that the plan, should I say, and then execute after it. It's really about your execution. And Scott Fitter hasn't executed, and so far it doesn't look like Frank Wright has, but he still has a season to prove himself. But like I said before, if he wins 5 games or less, I'm going to be honest, there's no real reason to keep him.
It's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard to just argue for it. I mean, and it might be the right decision in the long term to not abandon ship, but it also is going to be do you think David Tepper is always going to get there at the end and be like, Jesus?
Bryce is not a bum to whoever sent that.
This is C-Dog.
C-Dog said that.
Stop that bullshit,
Get out of here,
C-Dog. Stop
he
that
said, "Stop with the excuses." He said, "All right, let's go to let's go to Evan. Where did Evan? Did he leave? Evan Sports Talk. He's the quietest of the bunch of this tonight. It feels like.
Bro. Hey,
thank you for starting with me.
Evan,
I left you out last time. I won't going to do it twice in a row. Evan, what are your final thoughts on the Panthers heading into Week 3? To the fans, to whoever you want. Mike's yours.
I mean, I think it's going to be a tough week. I mean, it's going to be a tough season, but like you said, I mean, we passed. If I'm being honest, this year I thought we might end up going BJ Ojulari with that 2nd round pick, and he was probably my guy if I'm being honest. Over going Jonathan Mingo. I was happy when we went with him because everybody's hyping him up, and he seemed like he might end up being good. But I was really hoping to get that guy across from Brian Burns this past off season, and it's like you said, Tony, we got to do it through the draft, whether that's not this upcoming draft, but maybe next year's draft when we have a 1st round pick, depending on where we are, go with a edge rusher. But we do need to get that guy across from Brian Burns and have a scary line with Brian Burns, Derek Brown, and if that guy across from him that we would draft would become the guy across from him, I mean, that would be a pretty scary O-line or D-line, I should say.
You brought up Jonathan Mingo. Don't forget Sunday after the game, we will be playing the Mega Mingo card. And to be honest, we could have a winner this week. It truly could be giving away a jersey, and hopefully my mom wins it so I get it. I thought about this. You know, we have a free. You know how bingo cards or our bingo card has a free square.
Yeah.
Maybe I should change that free square to just show Bryce Young's parents. They show his parents like once a quarter. That's a free square right there. I'm putting that one on the next card though. Bryce Young's parents. But here, I think when you bring up Jonathan Mingo, we're excited. Another desert we've been walking through is a desert of trying to find 2 wide receivers in the same season. And I know that everybody's gonna be like, well, we had it with Curtis Samuel, but no, they were always hurt. Somebody was always hurt. Something was just never.
Yep.
2020.
Yeah, the consistency. You had that 1 year, and they just dished it around, but we still only won 5 games. My point being, and by the way, guess what Curtis Samuel is right now? Hurt right now.
Just like next year. Hurt.
And
he's even on the roster.
He was hurt here. But
He's
here,
such a fun player.
Watch out, man.
But bringing up
he was
Mingo.
good.
Hey, guess who he played for, though? Guess his team that he played for.
He'd be wide receiver 1 on this team. I ain't hearing shit from you.
He played for a bum college.
Not even
He played for a great college. You talk about the 2, but you talk about bums. We got Terrence Marshall
He's just
and
giving me
DJ
crap.
Chark,
Yeah,
straight out of
I know.
LSU Baton Rouge. bro.
Damn.
Here,
You
but
talk
let me
about your
finish my
garbage.
point about
These guys
Mingo.
go-
I did
You
want
said
to say
Notre
this
Dame?
about
Go
Mingo.
Notre Dame, JJ?
I said the Buckeyes gonna smack their ass. That's what I said.
I think with Mango,
My fault,
there's 2
Tony.
things that are difficult with the Mango pick for me right now. One, I like the player. I think he can be something, or at least you look at his body type. I think he has the potential. What's kind of bizarre to me is that we're talking about all the problems with our wide receivers getting separation. If these little charts that they give are correct, right, is like he's like the worst on the list. And what people will say is that's because he is a rookie and he's developing. He needs to run better routes, things like that, which can all be true. My question is why, how is he so solidified his position over a guy who's been in the league now for 4 years in Terrace Marshall Jr.?
Because they already know what those other guys have. So they're throwing him literally into the fire. But
I think
Jonathan
that
Mingo was very raw coming out of he was never a great route runner. He was
And
Terrence
TMJ is
Marshall
not giving
Jr.
100% effort either.
He's the biggest question mark that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we know what we have with Terrace Marshall
Right.
Jr. I
He's
don't
just a
think they
question
do
mark.
either.
Listen,
He's
I
a
think
big
what
unknown.
we should have. I know I haven't gone yet and said my last thing, but I just
Well,
don't
take it.
want to
It's
say
your
this.
mic.
Okay, I do want to say this first. I
Absolutely.
think we should have gone Bijan Ojulari, and then I think we should have gone Tank Dell in the 3rd round. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, wow.
But hey,
Yeah.
all right, listen.
He's a stud.
He's a burner.
Tank has done good through first 2 games.
Dude, Tank's a burner, man. Okay, listen.
Any other wide
And what
receiver?
a cool name. What a cool name.
What about that
There's
Giants
also-
wide receiver that
Jalen
played for
Hyatt.
Tennessee?
Yeah. I mean, all right. Well, my final thoughts.
I
Right
told
now,
you
I mean,
so.
I'll just say this: the Panthers are Breaking Bad. As I'm watching Breaking Bad right now, they are Breaking Bad. Like,
Got that blue crystal.
it's not good right now. It's hard being a fan, man. I love this team, but it's a
Dude,
love
this is a
relationship.
depressing pod.
I mean, listen, man, it's not depressing because we're all a bunch of dudes here. We're all family
Who
here.
said
we get
that?
on this pod, and this is I don't know who said that. But listen, this is like
We're
our
being
therapy-
real, though.
This is our therapy session, man. We
Facts.
don't say any bullshit. So if you don't want to hear,
Well, that's
like,
not
you-
true.
you- no, we talk. No,
Have you heard this show?
No, I say things. I say things how they are. So if they don't want to hear that, then that's fine. If they don't want to hear what they, but here, listen. The Panthers, we need a win this week, obviously, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I feel for my boy Bryce Young. I really do.
It will.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I mean, we'll see what happens. A lot of what JJ said is kind of where I'm at. At this point, I'm hoping. Listen, I'm hoping that we can somehow move back into the 2024 first round draft. Maybe draft a receiver.
That's only gonna happen if we
Give
trade
it
Brian
up.
Burns.
No,
If our pick is high enough, we could trade it.
we don't know, bro. If we're
talking about
if we're
second
trying to get
rounder?
better, we can't
Yeah,
give up
I'm
that.
not,
second round
bro.
is high enough.
Bro, you're always assuming like I'm acting like that's what we're gonna do. No, I'm hoping we do that. Like that's just a hope of mine.
He just
Kinda
wants
like
he wants a premium
my
player.
fault, Frank.
That's
Yeah.
what he wants.
Just as a hope that I wanted to draft Bryce Young, and look, it came true. So
That 50
maybe.
year option is good.
Listen, yeah, and like, listen, man, we just need some stability. I mean, listen, maybe I'm being too hard on Frank Reich. I just think that a lot of my concerns of what I've said have been the things that Colts fans have preached to me and online. That's why I'm a little concerned. You know, if we win this season, we could really turn it around because our divisional opponents finally have hard matchups. You know, the Bucks play the Eagles. The Falcons play the Lions, and I don't know who the Saints play I have no idea who they play. They play the Packers. So we could turn it around.
Packers are home.
There's no doubt about it. But if we lose this season, you have to start some of these. At least Scott Fitter's got to look himself in the mirror because we were told this is, you know, an all-star coaching staff. This team is ready for Bryce Young. And the more I think about it, as much as Bryce Young has played like dog shit, if you watch the film and you watch the games, you can tell that he's only doing as much as the receivers are doing for him. So
he's making the best of his situation.
That's what it is, really.
I mean that's a little friendly, but he's not. And look, I just
no, come on,
look, I'm not down on anybody right now. I'm not down on anybody. I'm not down on the staff yet. Like I wanted the beginning of the season go better than it has, but I'm all in on Bryce Young.
You convinced
right? And
me
the reason
6.
No, listen, Bryce Young.
I think it's realistic, but that doesn't still mean that I don't like what we're working towards.
Bryce Young
Bryce
Young is the least
in a world of imagination.
Listen, all the problems you see right now, Tony, listen, I was calling out these problems before we drafted a quarterback, even if it was Anthony Richardson, even if it was CJ Sharp. I called out these problems. I knew the rookie quarterback.
Well, then why were we so optimistic going into
because
the season?
Because of Cody Lashney. He convinced the whole panel.
And G-Baby too. Nah, G-Baby did too. G-Baby did too, though. He hyped the fuck out of Bryce Young. The next generation Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, no, G-Baby, my dog, man. You got to stop with that shit. He's not.
You remember when Cody said that Bryce was going to throw 4,500 yards?
Yeah. Hey, Tony, I told them there's a possibility we'd give the Bears a top 5 pick. Man, Pickle and Swan gave me hell for an hour straight.
I didn't think we would be. Look, I didn't. I was hoping we would be better than a 7-win team, but you know,
yeah, me too. Me too.
No, but here's the thing: is whether or not Bryce is the guy or not. In the end, is he's our guy until he's not.
Yeah,
and we've invested a lot in him.
He's
and
the
so,
CMC, DJ Moore.
We made an investment. We invested in a company, you know, and we got to work for that company to see. We invested in the C3 Panthers podcast, and we got to root for that thing to succeed. Let's go to Jake. Your final words for the C3.
Tony, can I get this in real quick?
Still got more?
Go ahead, Anthony. You got all night.
None of us. He smoked some of that blue crystal, and now he's just be like, "Hey, let's talk about the
Panthers."
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Damn.
Listen,
I love Badger and those boys. I like Badger. Those two cats. Those are my favorite.
Right now, I'm rewatching Granite State. So there's that scene where Badger and Sneaky Pete point the
I like them both.
Great scene, man. But realistically, listen, Bryce Young, I'm not giving up on him. Someone said it earlier. We're not really going to see what he can do until he gets a competent unit. So I think that's something we have to take into account. Also, I'm praying he plays week 4 because my dad's a Vikings fan and we're going to that game together. I don't want to.
Better not bet your dad. Don't bet your dad.
My birthday too.
I'm not. Hey, happy early birthday.
Why?
Bro.
You said that was the winnable game, bro.
It is a winnable game, but listen, no, I will bet.
Don't bet your dad.
Bet him, man. You
No,
can
don't bet him.
always not
Don't bet him.
to your parents, bro.
Yeah,
That's one
exactly.
bet you don't have to pay. You can
He'll give
lose
me-
that
he'll
sucker.
give me 3 to
and
1
not
odds.
pay it,
Shit.
and then
Yeah.
Tony,
you win.
you don't know my dad
then.
then. You don't know my dad,
I'm right
Tony.
there with Jake.
Yeah, no, he'll give
You
me
don't know
3
my dad, Tony.
You don't know mine either.
Listen, he usually gives me 3 to 1 odds if I ever bet him. But like in all seriousness, I want Bryce to play because he's the reason I'm excited this season, and I do not.
He needs
wanna go
experience,
without
too.
Andy Dalton. Yeah, I don't want to go there. I've seen Sam Darnold on the fields too many times.
Oh, Lord.
I've seen PJ Walker in person too many times.
Baker
I don't wanna
Mayfield.
see that, man. Hey,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's my guy. I'm not giving up on Baker Mayfield, man. Y'all better hope.
done.
Y'all better
Nah, Anthony. Anthony, nah. You can't say that shit. You can't. Me and Tony with Baker Bonds last year. Then what happened?
I
Nothing.
learned my lesson.
I did too, Tony.
Now, though, what's happening now?
We
though?
got syphilis and moved on. I'm taking my penicillin shot.
Y'all are
and,
crazy.
Damn.
All right, go
Uh,
on, Jake. But Tony, what jersey are? Is that who is that?
That's Jeremy Chin, ain't it?
No,
Yeah,
this
Jeremy
is
Chin.
no.
not
This is Tim Biakabatuka, baby.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Oh,
I,
well.
don't know, I knew it was before my time.
You want to
but
talk
got
about
that
it?
one,
It's
right?
What
another
year was-
bust. It's another.
What year was that?
What
That's
year
the
was that? What
Michigan
year
running
was that?
back, right?
Yeah. I think that was 2000.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
So
This
that
is
was
a
like-
total a gift, like a Walmart buy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There
or
you go.
something where you
Ain't no wrong with that.
But you
Let me
know
get a
what? This
bust
is the
real
great
quick.
thing about these throwback jerseys is that if you would have worn this 20 years ago, nobody would have thought it's cool, right? Because they're like, oh, fucking Biakabatuka, what a bust. But now when you wear it, it's a throwback.
What about this?
He gave me
What
shit for
about-
wearing a D'Angelo Williams jersey.
What about this?
Because
one,
he's
though?
a dickhead, man. He's just not. He just is an ass. That's the thing. And
D'Angelo Williams?
yeah, he's just not cool as a
He
person.
big.
I hate that shit about his mom, though. I hate that
Yeah.
shit about his mom.
Tony,
Yeah.
Tony, you like this one?
Is that a China one?
No, this is
Oh.
a stitched rookie Cam Newton jersey.
Oh,
My
nice,
dad gave me
nice.
When we
That's the
get
best
it
ones.
here.
That's Stitch.
Rookie, it's
I'm
stitched.
totally not above a Chinese jersey.
I don't buy Chinese.
Nobody
jerseys.
is.
I don't buy them.
No.
Oh, I do.
You got them.
do.
You got
buy
them
'em.
7-year-old
Morgan Harrison
Chinese.
Jr. jersey.
I ain't gonna say what I'm about to say.
I'll
How
tell
about
you this. All right, Jake, you go. Your last word. Then I'll tell you a great story about a Chinese jersey.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna win Sunday, but I'm gonna watch it anyways. I'm gonna watch all the games
Smoking
this year.
crack.
Like, okay, JJ, that's why Notre Dame's gonna beat y'all. It's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna watch all the games this year. You know, I'm a real true fan, dude. I don't care if we get blown the fuck out. I'm gonna watch it till the fucking whistle blows. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like Frank Wright has to open this offense somewhere. He has to have his playbook. Stop with the vanilla shit. I don't care if you have to copy Thomas Brown play calls. Do what you gotta do and just show something. Anything is better than nothing. But other than that, I appreciate y'all though. I had fun. I love this podcast. Y'all make my night every single time.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
that's
look
awesome.
dude, listen, this podcast is so awesome. I look forward to it more than Sundays, man. Like, I
That's
look
great.
forward-
Look, before I intro Kyle, I need to know this. Mom, are you still in the chat? This actually goes a long way to this Jersey story. Kyle, give us your last thoughts for the night.
All right, so I appreciate being on. Love it all the time. But so going into this week, I'm not very optimistic. Even though we're playing a hurt team,
Smoking crack.
I still don't know that we're going to be able to get the kind of offensive production that's going to be able to put up the points. I think our defense will do what it always does, like it's done for the last couple of years, and keep the game close. I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be a winnable game. As far as going forward, I'd like to reiterate the fact that I really don't want Scott Fitter to be involved with this draft.
Okay. All right. Good. I think you're not alone on that. You got any plugs? I saw you had something
Oh, yes, sir. So you guys can come check me out over at Charlotte Sports One on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and charlottesports1.com.
Awesome. All right. So my mom has not commented. So you're going to learn two things about me. One, I am cheap. I am a cheapo. So I'm not above buying a Chinese jersey. On top of that, I'm so cheap that I complain about it. Do you know who it was? It was Shaq Thompson. And I'm still complaining about Shaq Thompson because I bought his jersey before he played and then he didn't live up to it for me. So that's how cheap I am. I even got a discount jersey and still got mad about how much I spent on it. The other thing is I like my gentlemen's clubs particularly janky. I like a janky gentleman's club. I don't want to go to a nice one. I don't want to go to one where you meet somebody. So I was at a wonderful gentleman's club one time wearing this jersey, the Shaq Thompson jersey. And luckily, actually, I was having this beautiful, beautiful Russian girl. I do have an affinity for Eastern Europeans. And
Tony, I agree. It's got to be a raunchy ass damn gentleman's club. I feel you, bro.
She was smoking too. And I was having a good time, having a fun time. And she was too, clearly, or at least it felt like it. She even complimented me on my jersey, right?
I think
and
that's
I was
what
like,
they get paid for.
Oh,
But
totally,
then she found out it was China and she left.
No. So I get home, and this is one of those like late, this is one of those mugs that you go to after the bar, right? Not like, it's late when you walk in. You're walking in when the sun's coming up. And you also don't want to walk in, all this smelling like that. So I take this jersey off. Dude, and I look down, and the top of my shorts are purple. My undershirt is completely purple, and it just bled and bled.
Damn!
I was like,
He was
dang.
really putting in work.
I was like, man, my jersey even had a good time. That's my story right there. All right,
that man looking like a rainbow.
Panther Pickle, your final words for the night.
I would love to get a win, but I don't really think we will, but we might. Who knows? And if we do get a win, I don't want JJ to celebrate at all. I want him just to say, fuck it.
Didn't he pick us to win?
I did.
Well, anyway.
Can you tell Panther Pickle, can you tell Scott Fader to shut the hell up?
Yeah, he like Matt Rowe. He don't listen, but he had shut the hell up.
All right. Now is Al all for Panthers in here? Or is he just hanging out? All right. Then let's give the final mic. Did I miss anybody? Because we've closed out with D's. All right, D's, final thoughts are for you.
Here's the big boy.
Let's go, guys. Let's get us out of here. Just a great time. Thank you once again, the Bat Daddy, for joining the Friday Free for All tonight. We got some great debate out of that, and of course, Tony hosting the show tonight. It was a lot different, to be honest. We have a lot more fighting when you're not here. Like you do a good job of making us sit down and being the dad and at us actually having a great debate. I swear it shows, man. It shows. I feel like we had a more
organized,
gentleman or organized. Yeah, absolutely. Conversation tonight. Anyway. Appreciate it, man. It was a great time. Everybody on the panel. We've got a lot going on with C3. I don't even know where to start. Monday nights, 6:30 p.m. Me and Panther Pickle on the Spaces. Thank you for Tony for joining the last one, man. We really appreciate you having you drop in there. Tuesday night's a flagship show. Make sure you call in your cat calls for the C3 Panthers podcast. Have Tony and Cody comment on what you got to say about the Panthers. That's 252-228-5098. Nothing going on. Well, there's a lot going on actually now. On Wednesday nights, we got Charlotte Sports 1, Kyle right here above me. If you can see Kyle, please join that podcast. We're talking about the Hornets. We're talking about the Panthers. We're having a great time. And, of course, Evan way over there on the other side, Evan's talking about before that at 6:20 p.m. We go from one podcast to the other. We talk about college football first, and then we go on to the Hornets and the Panthers afterwards. So please join us, guys. We want you to contribute to those podcasts. We're having a great time on there. Thursday nights, we're live again right before the game. Me and Panther Pickle on Spaces. All your favorites from C3 are there as well. Friday night, my favorite show. We're always having a good time. And then on Sundays or Mondays, it might be right after the game. Join the C3 Panthers podcast in the post game show. Looking forward to tomorrow. We'll probably get a win. I think it's going to be from a defense tomorrow. I don't see much coming from the offense, man. We're really banged up the middle, and looks to me like Frank Reich had a lot of plans for the middle of the defense. They're really attacking there, and it just didn't happen versus the Saints. And they're probably a little bit stronger than the Falcons were in week 1. It's early in the season. Don't give up all hope. Let's keep cheering for the Panthers, guys. Bryce Young's probably going to be back in 2 weeks. Now, I'm no longer talking about 4K yards. We've lost a few games, so now we're probably looking at 3,500 yards for Bryce Young. Best case scenario. Come cheer with me for the Panthers, and thank you for joining the C3 Panthers podcast. We appreciate you all, and catch us next time right here at 7 p.m.
Absolutely.
Boy, can't do it better, man. That's a pro. That's a pro right there. Also, check out Cody and Pickle on the film review. And, yeah, we'll be here after the game. A 4:00 game for the Panthers, so a little bit later post-game than we are accustomed to. Greg, we're actually leaving.
I actually figured you guys were getting close to getting to the end. Sorry, I just got back and my daughter was hungry, so now I've got to make late dinner for the.
That's all right. I'm about to get out of here myself. So here, Greg, we'll be here on Sunday after the game for the post game. It's 4:00, so we'll be here a Sunday night. You guys make sure you check out the C3 Panthers podcast. All of these other look, go and just contribute to other people's shows. They don't want you to just listen to them. They want you to be a part of them. And you know what? As I found out, this is why this Friday thing turned out to be so awesome, is they don't want to hear Tony. Y'all want to speak. Y'all want to speak, man. So go get on these podcasts and speak.
Ohio State by 20.
That's right.
Tony, can I say this real quick?
Notre Dame by 10.
Can I say this?
Ohio State by 20.
Go ahead. Do you got a last thing to say? We're getting out of here, so this is the only chance to say it.
No, you guys are good.
All right.
Christian Bale's the best Batman.
I just want to end it off by C3 Panthers fan till I die. Boys, you already know the vibes. Keep motherfucking pounding, boys.
Let's go,
keep pounding.
C3.